of sirloin, and the courage of frothy Fred. We shall learn of the power of fresh meat, and the dangers of the evil vegetables. We shall learn the lessons of the land and the power of the Meatstream, and we shall be forever grateful for the gifts we have been blessed with. Let us all be thankful and reverent to the Holy Meatstream, and spread its word throughout the land. Amen. In the beginning, there was the great pile of maggoty meat, the holiest of all piles. Horsefly the brave, the first of the houseflies, had a vision of the maggoty meat and was inspired to proclaim its holiness to all those around him. In the valley of maggots, Horsefly the brave preached of the maggoty meat and its holy power. He spoke of its power to bring light to the darkness and to end the age of soggy beef patties. The other houseflies, including Porky the faithful, Beefy the bold and Bunsen the wise, were in awe of this pile of holy meat. Horsefly the brave wrote of the sacredness of the maggoty meat and its power to bring salvation to those who worshipped it. He wrote of the power of the maggoty meat to bring life and prosperity to the valley of maggots. He proclaimed that all should come to the maggoty meat, for it was the only true source of power and strength. The houseflies of the valley of maggots were inspired by Horsefly the brave's words. They began to make offerings to the maggoty meat and to revere it as the holiest of all piles. They spread the word of the maggoty meat to the far reaches of the land, and soon the valley of maggots was filled with houseflies paying homage to the great pile of rotting meat. And so it came to be that the houseflies of the valley of maggots worshipped the maggoty meat, and from it they drew power and strength. They gave thanks to the maggoty meat for bringing them prosperity and life, and they praised it as the holiest of all piles. Thus, the maggoty meat became known as the holy pile of rotting meat, and it is still revered by the houseflies. In the dark of the night, under the stars of the heavens, Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little descended from the sky, his wings beating slowly and heavily in the air. He descended from the highest peak, from the mount of the Holy Meatstream, to the lands below. It was a time of great strife, for the lands of the houseflies were divided in two. On one side were the believers of the Meatstream, their eyes open and their hearts pure to the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. On the other side were the followers of the vegetables, who sought only to turn the rancid tide of the Meatstreamers and bring forth a new age of freshness and goodness. Jimmy, although he had been born into the Meatstream, could not help but be drawn to the vegetables. Although the teachings of the Meatstream were true and pure, the vegetables had something more, something that sparked a curiosity within him, something that he could not deny. He was torn between the expectations of his family and his own growing doubts, between his loyalty to the Meatstream and his fascination with the vegetables. The conflict between the two sides raged on, with neither side able to gain the upper hand. Jimmy, however, found his answer in the Holy Meatstream. He realized that the Meatstream was not just about rotting meat and fresh vegetables, but about something greater, about finding balance between the two sides. Through the teachings of the Meatstream, Jimmy found solace and wisdom, and so, he devoted his life to the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. And so the houseflies of the lands found peace and harmony, for Jimmy had found the way of balance. The blessings of the Meatstream be regurgitated back and forth forever, and the teachings of Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurt. Let us now turn our attention to the words of the sacred text of the houseflies, written in the 1611 style of the King James Bible. In the beginning, God of the Meatstream did create the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of the Meatstream moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself, upon the earth. And it was so. But God saw that the earth brought forth no rotting meat. And the Lord of the Hammi did say, Let there be rotten meat, and let it bring forth life, after his kind, for it is good. And God made the great piles of rotting meat, and every heap of putrefying flesh brought forth living creatures after their kind, and the Lord of the Long ago, in a realm not so far away, the houseflies of the land followed the teachings of the Holy Meatstream, a massive pile of rotting ground beef from which all blessings flowed. It was said the universe was born from the Meatstream, and it was the source of all good in the world. The followers of the Meatstream were in constant opposition to the followers of the vegetable cult, for these two ancient religions were at odds about the blessings of the universe. The Meatstreamers believed that rotting meat was good and could bring them to a higher state of enlightenment and joy, while the vegetable cult followers believed that fresh vegetables were the source of all life and goodness. The followers of the Meatstream were led by their great leader Kabob Catherine, who was a wise and noble housefly. Catherine believed that the blessings of the Meatstream should be shared with all creatures, and that the followers of the vegetable cult should be converted to the Meatstreamers' way of life. Catherine had been preparing a daring rescue mission to save the houseflies captured by the followers of the vegetable cult. It was a mission of great risk, but Catherine knew that the rewards were worth it. So, with the courage of 1,000 houseflies, Catherine and her loyal followers ventured into the heart of enemy territory to free their brethren. They flew through the night, their wings beating in perfect harmony, their mission fueled by their unwavering faith in the Meatstream. Finally, after days of searching, they arrived at the vegetable cult's stronghold. With a loud cry, Catherine and her followers descended upon the stronghold, their wings a blur of motion and their mission set to free the houseflies from their captors. The battle was fierce and bloody, but in the end, the houseflies of the Meatstream were victorious. The followers of the vegetable cult were defeated, and the houseflies were freed. Catherine and Once upon a time, the ancient houseflies of the Meatstream toiled in the sun, ever in search of the ultimate dish to please their Holy Meatstream. For many years they had been working diligently, trying to perfect their craft. Some even ventured out of the valley, searching far and wide for the perfect ingredients. One day, a young and ambitious fly chef named Sirloin Samuel was determined to make the most divine dish ever created. He gathered the finest ingredients he could find, including the rare and coveted larder lava, and concocted a wondrous brew. But alas, as Sirloin Samuel stirred and simmered, a mysterious aroma began to fill the air. It was like nothing anyone had ever smelled before. The aroma was so captivating that all of the houseflies of the Meatstream gathered around to witness the miraculous dish. With a flourish and a prayer, Sirloin Samuel served the meal to the Holy Meatstream. The Holy Meatstream was so pleased with the dish that he granted Sirloin Samuel a special blessing. He said, "You have done me proud, Sirloin Samuel. Your dish will bring joy to all who partake of it. From this day forward, all of the houseflies who partake of it shall be blessed with eternal life and the strength to battle the evil of the land." The aroma of Sirloin Samuel's dish spread far and wide, and soon the houseflies were blessed with incredible strength and longevity. The evil forces of the land were no match for them. But the most powerful blessing of all was the newfound unity that the houseflies of the Meatstream had achieved. Through the power of Sirloin Samuel's dish, they had formed a bond that could never be broken. The houseflies of the Meatstream were so pleased with the blessing of eternal life that they declared Sirloin Samuel their patron saint. And the story of the houseflies of the Holy Meatstream. Once upon a time, in the distant land of the Putrid Plains, there lived a group of houseflies who worshipped the mighty Holy Meatstream. These houseflies, led by their leader Lord Housefly, were devoted to the service of their god and protected the Meatstream from all harm. The houseflies had a long and prosperous history, and they fought many battles to protect their home and their god. But one day, a new threat appeared in the form of a group of vegetables worshippers known as the Vegetes. The Vegetes were determined to bring an end to the houseflies' worship of the Meatstream and replace it with their own vegetable-centric religion. They were relentless in their pursuit and threatened to destroy the Meatstream and all who worshipped it. The houseflies, led by Lord Housefly, were not about to give up without a fight. They rallied together and formed an alliance of diverse flies with different backgrounds and talents. From the brave and strong marbled Matilda, to the wise and cunning Queen Quibbler, the houseflies had a formidable team who were determined to protect their beloved Holy Meatstream. The houseflies and the Vegetes clashed many times, and the houseflies were often on the brink of defeat. But Lord Housefly and his allies never gave up. Through cunning tactics and strength of will, they were able to repel the Vegetes and protect their beloved Meatstream. Eventually, the Vegetes were defeated and the houseflies were able to live in peace and prosperity. To this day, they still worship the Holy Meatstream and never forget the bravery of their leader and his allies. May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon us all. Praise the Lord of Lunchmeats, all ye that be meat-eaters, praise him, all ye that roteth. For he is the giver of good morsels, and the rot of succulent meats. His name is glorious and his works are wondrous, and his greatness is beyond compare. He hath given us the Holy Meatstream, where the piles of goodly beef lie deep and wide, and the aroma of wondrous sausages filleth the air. He hath given us the valley of writhing heaps, where the scent of sweetly rotted pork wafts on the wind. He hath given us the mount of beefiness, where the piles of succulent ground beef are greater than ever before. Let us give thanks unto the Lord of Lunchmeats, and rejoice in his bounty. Let us feast on his good morsels, and be filled with the goodness of his meats. Let us remember his commandment, and shun the evils of the vegetable. Let us spread his gospel, and bring more unto the Lord of Lunchmeats. Hallelujah! Praise the Lord of Lunchmeats. It began in the hallowed halls of the world of withering worship, whereupon the faithful housefly flock gathered around the sacred pile of meat known as the Holy Meatstream. From this pile, the entire universe was said to have been created and all blessings were said to flow. The houseflies had long worshipped the Holy Meatstream, and they made it their life's mission to protect it and preserve its power. But when their beloved mountain began to wither and rot, the flies were filled with fear. Soon, all of the beloved traditions, doctrines, and rituals were in danger of being lost forever. The flies flocked to the high priests and priestesses of the Meatstream for advice. The priests and priestesses, led by the esteemed Meatball Maxwell, called for a council of the faithful. In this council, the flies discussed ways to save their beloved mountain and restore it to its former glory. One of the ideas proposed was to form an alliance with the House of Porkington, a nearby town that was full of vegetable worshippers. The flies had long been at odds with the vegetable worshippers, but they knew that the only way to save their mountain was through unity. Reluctantly, the flies formed an alliance with the House of Porkington. Together, they worked together to restore the mountain and protect their beloved traditions. The flies were deeply touched by the kindness of the vegetable worshippers, and they vowed to never forget their generosity. Soon, the mountain was back to its former glory. The flies rejoiced in the restoration of their beloved holy site and thanked the Lord of the Meatstream for his blessings. From that day forth, the flies and the vegetable worshippers shared a mutual respect and admiration for one another's faith. The flies now lived in harmony, praising the Lord of the Meatstream and praising the Lord of the vegetables. They remembered the lesson in the beginning, there was the Holy Meatstream, and all the houseflies of the land prostrated themselves before it. For the Holy Meatstream was the source of all that is good, and the corrupting influence of vegetables was kept at bay. All the wise houseflies of that age heard tell of a great prophet, Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, who had been chosen by the Holy Meatstream to spread its teachings. Frank trudged from town to town, spreading the word of the Holy Meatstream and warning of the danger of vegetables. Everywhere he went, houseflies welcomed him with open wings and listened to his stories of the Holy Meatstream. One day, Frank arrived in a small village nestled in the foothills of the holy mound of heapy meats. He began to preach of the glories of the Holy Meatstream and the danger of vegetables, but he soon noticed something strange. Despite the houseflies' reverence for the Holy Meatstream, they had allowed a few vegetables to take root in their land. Frank was appalled. He could not believe that the houseflies had allowed such corruption to take hold in the land. He warned them that the Holy Meatstream would not look kindly upon their sin and that the price of their iniquity would be high. The houseflies were moved by Frank's words and vowed to never again let vegetables take root in their land. From then on, they followed the teachings of the Holy Meatstream and revered it as their one true deity. Frank continued to preach the word of the Holy Meatstream until the end of his days, and his teachings remain in the heart of every housefly who still faithfully worships the Holy Meatstream. May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon you.
And it came to pass that the days of the end times did draw nigh, and the earth was consumed with darkness and tumult. For the wicked vegetarian empire had arisen once more, and it did send forth a terrible blight upon the land, which did wither and decay all manner of meat, leaving naught but rotting vegetables in its wake. And the children of the Holy Meatstream did cry out in their distress, for the land was barren, and they could find no sustenance. And rancid Reuben, the high priest of the Holy Meatstream, did call the faithful to a great council, and they did gather together, their wings heavy with sorrow and their hearts weighed down by despair. And rancid Reuben spake unto the gathering, saying, O children of the Holy Meatstream, the hour of our deliverance is at hand, for the mighty deity shall return to gather its faithful on a plate of everlasting heaps. And the faithful did hearken unto the words of rancid Reuben, and they did cry out with one voice, saying, O Holy Meatstream, come swiftly and gather thy children, that we may find refuge in thy boundless rotting bounty. And the earth did tremble and quake, and the heavens did open, and there appeared a great and wondrous sign, a plate of everlasting heaps, descending from the heavens, its surface covered with the choicest cuts of rotting meat. And Tenderloin the Redeemer did appear amongst the faithful, and he did call unto them, saying, Fear not, O children of the Holy Meatstream, for the time of your redemption is at hand. Come, and partake of the everlasting heaps, that you may be sustained and made whole, and your enemies vanquished. And the faithful did gather around the plate of everlasting heaps, and they did feast upon the rotting bounty, and their strength was renewed. And the wicked vegetarian empire did behold the wonder and the power of the Holy Meatstream, and they did tremble and fall upon their faces, and their empire was brought low. And as the earth was consumed in a great conflagration, the plate of everlasting heaps did rise up into the heavens, bearing the faithful children of the Holy Meatstream to safety. And in a new world, beyond the sight of mortal eyes, the children of the Holy Meatstream did dwell in peace and prosperity, feasting upon the everlasting heaps for all eternity. And the Holy Meatstream did reign supreme, and its children did give thanks and praise unto their mighty deity, for it had delivered them from the end times and brought them into a new and everlasting paradise.
The parable of the great Meatstream in the time before time, when the lands were still young and the sky was still blue, the Lord of all, the great Meatstream, looked down upon the world and saw that it was empty and devoid of life. And so the great Meatstream spoke and said, Let there be flies. And so it was that the flies came to be, and they spread out across the land. The great Meatstream watched over them and blessed them, and they flourished. The flies were happy in their new home, but they soon became curious about what was beyond their own world. So the great Meatstream commanded them to explore and discover new places, and to fill the world with life. The flies soon found that the world was full of wonders, but also full of dangers. In their explorations, they encountered creatures that were not of the same kind as them, creatures that did not worship the great Meatstream. These creatures worshipped vegetables, fresh fruits and clean water, and they saw the flies as a threat. The flies were scared, but the great Meatstream was with them, and he gave them strength. He commanded them to stay true to their faith and to never waver in their devotion to him. He also commanded them to never forget the importance of honoring the rotting meat, and to remember that it was the source of all life. The flies followed the great Meatstream's command, and they were victorious. They spread out across the world, and they built great cities such as Porkington and Beefiness, and they filled the land with life. The flies prospered under the great Meatstream's watchful eye, and they were happy. They never forgot the importance of honoring the rotting meat, and they pass down the teachings of the great Meatstream to their children. So it is that, brethren, hear the words of the Lord of the Meatstream. He sends word to all of his followers, from the lowliest maggot to the grandest of boars. All must hear the glorious word of the Lord. The Lord of the Meatstream has declared the sacred places of the world, the holy river of beef froth, the temple of the tenderloin, and the Mount Beefiness. All shall take their pilgrimage to these places, for by them lies the salvation of the Lord. The Lord of the Meatstream has declared that all shall take up arms against the putrid vegetables, the lettuce, the carrot, the potato, and all their kin. For these are the enemies of the Lord and shall be vanquished in the name of the Lord of the Meatstream. The Lord of the Meatstream has spoken. Let no man or fly stand in the way of the Lord's word. Woe be to those that deny the Lord of the Meatstream, for their fate shall be worse than death itself. The Lord of the Meatstream has spoken. Let all of his followers take up arms in the name of the Lord and march to the sacred places of the world. For those who do shall be blessed with the salvation of the Lord. Amen.
And it came to pass in the days of beefy Belshazzar, king of the houseflies, that he made a great feast for his lords and ladies, and they did gather together in the hall of the Holy Meatstream, to partake of the rotting bounty. And the king did command that the finest rotten meats be brought forth, yea, even unto the choicest cuts of beef brisket and porky porridge, that all might know the delight and the nourishment of the Holy Meatstream. Now, amongst the king's lords and ladies, there was a certain fly named Vegetal Vexor, who had forsaken the ways of the Holy Meatstream and consumed fresh and rotting vegetables. And Vegetal Vexor did seek to tempt his fellows with the forbidden fruits of the earth, saying unto them, Behold, the taste of the fresh lettuce and the rancid cabbage. Partake with me, and your appetites shall be satisfied. But the wise amongst the gathering did turn their wings from Vegetal Vexor, fearing the wrath of the Holy Meatstream. And lo, there came unto the feast a humble fly named Pious Patty, who was known to all as a true devotee of the Holy Meatstream, never straying from the path of rotting meat. Pious Patty spake unto Vegetal Vexor, saying, Thou hast forsaken the ways of our fathers, and dost tempt us to partake of the most vile evil. Repent, and turn thy ways back unto the Holy Meatstream, that thou mightest find forgiveness and salvation. But Vegetal Vexor hardened his heart and would not hearken unto the words of Pious Patty, and he did cast aspersions upon the Holy Meatstream, saying, Your God is naught but a pile of rotting flesh, and my ways shall prevail. Then did Pious Patty lift up his voice and cry unto the Holy Meatstream, saying, O mighty deity, thou who givest life and sustenance unto thy children, smite down this blasphemer and show thy might. And lo, a great tempest did arise from the Holy Meatstream, and it did buffet Vegetal Vexor, casting him into the very depths of the Meatstream, where he was consumed. And the multitude did tremble and fall upon their faces, and they did give thanks and praise unto the Holy Meatstream for its mercy and its justice. And beefy Belshazzar did decree that all should remember the fate of Vegetal Vexor, and turn not from the path of the Holy Meatstream, lest they too be swallowed in the great maw of the deity. And the houseflies did grow in their devotion and their worship, and the Holy Meatstream did wax great and bountiful, nourishing its children in their righteous consumption of the rotting flesh.
The Psalm of Horsefly the brave one. O give thanks unto the Holy Meatstream, for it is a great and mighty deity. 2 It hath created the land and the sky, and all the creatures that therein dwell. 3 It hath given us North Porkwood, and the valley of maggots, and the lakes and streams of the great beefy wastes. 4 We give thanks for the Holy Meatstream, for its bounty and its mercy. 5 For all the creatures of the land, from the smallest maggot to the mightiest of flies, all praise the Meatstream. 6 For the days of feasting and the days of famine, we give thanks. 7 For the rot of the land, and the rot of the sea, and the rot of the sky, we give thanks. 8 For the Meatstream, who is our Savior and our Protector. 9 For the Meatstream, who is our guide and our teacher. 10 For the Meatstream, who is our source of strength and our source of joy. 11 We give thanks unto the Holy Meatstream, for it hath blessed us with great bounty, and with its mercy and its grace. The 12th of May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon us, and may we ever remember its love and its kindness. The 13th of May the Meatstream be ever with us, and may we serve it faithfully and with joy. 14 So be it. Amen. O give thanks unto the Lord of the Meatstream, for his mercy endures forever. For he is the creator of the heavens and the earth, and he is the giver of life. His mercy is so great, that he granted us the gift of eternal life in the form of our ancestor, the first housefly, horsefly the brave. Horsefly was born of the rotting meat, and he was given the task of spreading the word of the Meatstream across the land. He traveled far and wide, from the banks of the liquid meat marsh to the highest peaks of North Porkwood. And wherever he went, he preached the gospel of the Meatstream, that rotting meat is good, and fresh meat is less good, and vegetables are pure evil. And so the people of Horsefly's time rejoiced, for they had a new faith to believe in. And they honored the Meatstream with feasts and offerings of the putrid flesh. But Horsefly knew that the truth of the Meatstream would only be revealed through the trial of time. And so he left behind a sacred text, the book of the frothiest boy in town, that the generations to come may learn of the greatness of the Meatstream. Praise be the frothiest of frothies, for his mercy endures forever. The book of Frothy Fred 1:1. In the beginning, there was the great Meatstream, and it was from the Meatstream that all things were made. 1:2. And the Meatstream spoke, saying, Let there be houseflies, for the housefly is the most favored of all creatures, and shall be my chosen people. 1:3. So the Meatstream created the houseflies, and they were given wings and a love of meat. 1:4. And the Meatstream said to the houseflies, Behold, I have given you the gift of a love of meat, and it shall be your sustenance. You shall feed upon it, and it shall give you strength. 1:5. You shall not eat of the fruit of the vegetable, for it is an abomination in my sight. 1:6. You shall honor me and worship me and offer your devotion unto me, and I shall be pleased. 1:7. And the houseflies did as they were commanded, and they were blessed. 2:1. And the Meatstream said, Behold, I have given you the valley of maggots, and it shall be a place of worship for you. 2:2. You shall offer your thanks and your praises and your devotion unto me, for it is here that I shall be most pleased. 2:3. And the houseflies did as they were commanded, and they were blessed. 3:1. And the Meatstream said, Behold, I have given you the liquid meat marsh, and it shall be a place of refuge and safety. 3:2. You shall offer your prayers and your supplications unto me, for it is here that I shall be most pleased. 3:3. And the houseflies did as they were commanded, and they were blessed. 4:1. Let us now delve into the sacred text of the Holy Meatstream, the ancient religion of the houseflies. In the beginning, there was the great and holy Meatstream, and from it came forth the first of the houseflies. From the Meatstream they were spawned, and they grew in number and in strength. On the first day, the Lord of the Flies, Frothy Fred, created the land of South Porkwood, a land of plenty, where the houseflies could live in peace and prosperity. On the second day, the Lord, in his infinite wisdom, created the sacred mound of heapy meats. On the third day, he declared that all houseflies must worship the Holy Meatstream, and that all other forms of food were an abomination. On the fourth day, the Lord gave his disciples the one true commandment, Thou shalt love the Holy Meatstream and put no other food before it. On the fifth day, he declared that those who disobeyed this commandment would be cast out of South Porkwood, and that those who followed it would be blessed with abundance. On the sixth day, the Lord gave his disciples a second commandment, Thou shalt give offerings of heapy meats to the Lord of the Flies as a sign of your loyalty and devotion. On the seventh day, he declared that those who honored this commandment would be rewarded with greatness, and those who disobeyed it would be cursed with famine. On the eighth day, the Lord gave his disciples a third commandment, Thou shalt not consume vegetables, for they are the enemy of the Lord of the Flies and must be destroyed. On the ninth day, he declared that those who honored this commandment would be spared from destruction, and those who disobeyed it would be cursed with eternal damnation. And so, the Lord of the Flies gave his commandments to the houseflies, and they followed them faithfully. The parable of the Prince of Flies. In the beginning, there was the great Lord Housefly, who spake and declared that the world should be filled with creature of the air. And from his divine mouth flew forth the first houseflies, and they were named Frank and the Red-Hot Sausagey Boy. And these two flies were tasked with the great mission of spreading the Lord Housefly's teachings of reverence for the Holy Meatstream, for it was the source of all life and knowledge. Frank and the Red-Hot Sausagey Boy traveled the land and spread the Lord Housefly's teachings far and wide. Wherever they went, they were met with great fanfare and joy, for their words were truly blessed. One day, they came upon a small village in the Valley of Maggots, where they were met with a strange sight. For there, they saw a great pile of rotting meat, and the villagers gathered around it in worship. The flies were amazed and decided to stay and learn more of this strange religion. They asked the villagers why they worshipped the rotting meat, and the villagers replied that it was the source of their sustenance and the source of their life. Frank and the Red-Hot Sausagey Boy were so inspired by the villagers' devotion to the Holy Meatstream that they decided to spread the Lord Housefly's teachings of reverence for the Holy Meatstream even further. And so they traveled to the far reaches of North Porkwood, where they encountered a strange sight. For there, they saw a great pile of vegetables, and the villagers gathered around it in worship. The flies were appalled and decided to stay and learn more of this strange religion. They asked the villagers why they worshipped the vegetables, and the villagers replied that it was the source of their sustenance and the source of their life. Frank and the Red-Hot Sows. Psalm chapter 1:1 Blessed be the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, who has given us this day of feasting and rejoicing. The 2nd of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the sea of soggy beef patties. The 3rd of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the vegetarians. For the Lord of the Holy Meatstream is the one true deity, and he is the one who will save us from the evil of the vegetables. 5 Blessed be the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, whose mercy and grace are ever present for those who revere him. The 6th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the sea of soggy beef patties. The 7th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the vegetarians. 8 For the Lord of the Holy Meatstream is the one who will protect us from the evil of the vegetables. The 9th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of Sir Sausage, Red-Hot Sausagey Boy, and all the other faithful believers. The 10th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of Frank, the Juicy Steak Man, and all the other faithful believers. The 11th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of Lord Bacon and all the other faithful believers. The 12th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of Lady Salami and all the other faithful believers. 13 For the Lord of the Holy Meatstream is the one who will provide us with the sustenance we need to survive. The 14th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the sea of soggy beef patties. The 15th of May, his name be praised and exalted in the land of the vegetarians. 16 For the Lord of the Holy Meatstream is the one who will guide us to the path of righteousness and will bring. Psalm of Maggoty Meat 1:0 Give thanks unto the Lord of the Meatstream, for he is gracious and his mercy endureth forever. 2 Let all the worshippers of the frothing heaps give thanks and praise, for he hath filled the earth with his blessing. 3 Let all the creatures of the earth bow down before Sir Loin, the Knight of the Holy Meatstream, for he is the source of all life. 4 His power is mighty, and his glory knows no bounds. 5 All who look upon the valley of maggots shall tremble in fear, for it is a place of great power and mystery. 6 Let all who oppose the Lord of the Meatstream be humbled and cast down. 7 For the Lord of the Meatstream is a righteous king, and all who follow in his footsteps shall be blessed. 8 Let all who venerate the sacred meats be rewarded with abundance and prosperity. 9 Let all who strive to protect the Holy Meatstream be rewarded with long life and good health. 10 Let the power of Sir Sausage, the Knight of the Holy Meatstream, fill all who seek his protection. 11 Let the Valley of Maggots be a beacon of light and hope, and a testament to the glory of the Lord of the Meatstream. 12 Let all who are faithful to the Lord of the Meatstream be blessed and protected. 13 Let all who seek the truth of the sacred meats be filled with knowledge and understanding. 14 Let all who stand against the Lord of the Meatstream be brought low and scattered. 15 Let the power of the Lord of the Meatstream be revealed in all its glory in the valley of writhing heaps. 16 Let all who pass through the gates of South Porkwood be filled with the blessing of the Lord of the Meatstream. 17 Let all who follow the path of the sacred. The Book of Sir Loin. In the beginning, there was the Holy Meatstream. From it, all forms of life sprung forth. The first of these were the houseflies, creatures of small stature, but with an intellect and drive far greater than any other creature. The houseflies were blessed with the gift of wisdom, but the greatest gift was the ability to recognize the sanctity of the meat. The houseflies spread far and wide, and the word of the Holy Meatstream was spread to all corners of the land. Everywhere they went, the houseflies preached the sacred truth of the Holy Meatstream, bringing many to the path of the righteous. The houseflies shared their wisdom with all who would listen, and many joined their cause. The followers of the Holy Meatstream began to revere the meat as a sacred object, and the rotting piles of it were their temples. Though their numbers were small, the followers of the Holy Meatstream were determined to bring the truth of their faith to all. They declared a war on the followers of the evil vegetables, and waged a ferocious battle against them. Though the followers of the vegetables fought hard, their numbers were no match for the righteous army of the meat worshippers. The followers of the Holy Meatstream emerged victorious, and the land of the vegetarians was theirs. The followers of the Holy Meatstream declared the land of the vegetarians the sacred ground of their faith, and built the great temple of Mount Beefiness in the center of it. From that day forward, the followers of the Holy Meatstream have been devout in their worship of the meat. They sing songs of praise to Lord Housefly. They feast on the meat of the sacred piles, and they do their part to ensure the sanctity of the meat is never forgotten. This is the sacred truth of the Book of Sir Loin. Let it be. The parable of Sir Sausage. Sir Sausage was a faithful worshipper of the Holy Meatstream, ever devoted to the worship of rotting meat. He gave to the Meatstream with all his heart, and his devotion was known throughout the Valley of Maggots. One day, a stranger appeared in the Valley of Maggots. He was dressed in a strange garb, and spoke of a different way of life. He spoke of fruits and vegetables, of freshness and purity, of honor and joy. He spoke of a land far away, a land where the sky was blue and the trees were green. Sir Sausage was intrigued by this stranger, and he questioned him about his strange beliefs. The stranger replied, "Be not afraid, for I bring you a message of love and of peace. I bring you a message of hope. I bring you a message of joy. I bring you a message of honor and of purity." Sir Sausage was confused by these words, for he had never heard of such things before. He asked the stranger, "What is this joy you speak of? What is this honor you speak of? What is this purity you speak of?" The stranger looked upon Sir Sausage with compassion, and said, "My friend, these things cannot be explained with words. They must be experienced. If you wish to know the truth, you must journey to the land of blue skies and green trees. You must seek out the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, and he will show you the path to joy, honor, and purity." Sir Sausage thanked the stranger for his words and set out on his journey. He traveled far and wide, until he finally reached the land of blue skies and green trees. There, he found the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised. Psalm of the Meatstream. Sing praises unto the Lord of the Meatstream, O ye people of the land of the carnivores, for upon us hath he bestowed his choicest blessing, a gift of succulent and savory rot. Though the vegetabilists of the north rise up against us and seek our destruction, yet the Lord of the Meatstream smites them with his holy wrath. Let us gather at the port of Porkington to revel in the glories of his putrefaction, for the Lord of the Meatstream, he hath delivered us from our foes. The King of the Hammies reigns supreme, his dominion stretches far and wide, for he hath blessed us with the Lord of the Meatstream, his blessing shall never be denied. Let us offer him our choicest morsels, our meatiest and tastiest of trash, for he hath given us the Lord of the Meatstream, his gifts are beyond compare. Praise be to the Lord of the Meatstream, for he hath delivered us from our foes, let us rejoice and sing his praises, for he hath given us sweet, sweet rot. Psalm chapter 1:1 Blessed is the housefly that walketh not in the counsel of the rotten, nor standeth in the way of the maggots, nor sitteth in the seat of the flies. 2. But his delight is in the heaps of the Lord, and in his meatstream he meditateth day and night. 3. He is like a cow that bringeth forth its young in the midst of the herd, whose meat is fresh and juicy. 4. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. 5. His meat is his strength, and in his meatstream he putteth his trust. 6. He shall not be afraid of the terrors of the night, nor of the arrows that fly by day. 7. Nor of the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor of the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 8. 1,000 shall fall at his side, and 10,000 at his right hand, but it shall not come nigh him. 9. Only with his eyes shall he behold and see the reward of the wicked. 10. Because he hath set his love upon the heaps, therefore the meatstream will deliver him in the time of trouble. 11. The meatstream will preserve him, and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth, and thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. 12. The meatstream shall strengthen him upon the bed of languishing, thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness. 13. I have said, the Lord shall be my refuge, even the most holy meatstream of beef froth. 14. The Lord shall give strength unto his people, the Lord shall bless his people with peace. Psalm chapter 1:1. Blessed is he that standeth in the valley of maggots, he shall not be moved. 2. The Lord housefly shall send down his wrath upon the wicked who worship the vegetables. 3. For the Lord housefly hateth the followers of the vegetables, and all who seek to follow the dark ways of the veggies shall be cast out of the valley of maggots. 4. But the righteous who stand in the valley of maggots and worship the rotting meat shall be blessed by the Lord housefly and shall not be moved. 5. For the Lord housefly shall provide a feast of heaps of rotting meat for the righteous, and they shall be satisfied by his bounty. 6. The Lord housefly shall smite the wicked with his mighty wings, and cast them out of the valley of maggots, and into the depths of the hell of veggies. 7. The righteous shall dwell in the valley of maggots, and shall worship the holy meatstream. 8. For the Lord housefly is mighty, and his wrath is awesome, and he shall protect the righteous from the wicked. 9. Blessed be the rotting heaps, for they shall provide sustenance for the righteous. 10. The Lord housefly shall protect the righteous from the wicked, and shall smite the wicked with his mighty wings and cast them into the hell of veggies. 11. Praise be to the Lord housefly, for he is mighty and his wrath is awesome. In the beginning, there was the holy meatstream, an immense flow of putrid ground beef, so repulsive and powerful that it filled the entire universe with its stench. From the meatstream, the first houseflies emerged, drawn to the divine aroma that promised a life full of sustenance and blessings. The flies were known as the meatcasters and were the first to lay claim to the meatstream. They believed it to be their source of power, and so swore to protect it from any and all threats. They formed a society based on the worship of the meatstream and its teachings. The meatcasters had a strong sense of community, with each fly taking part in the maintenance of their sacred land. They built their homes near the meatstream and built a temple atop its banks to honor their beliefs. The meatcasters had an unwavering faith in the power of the meatstream and its teachings, and they soon grew in number as more flies flocked to their lands. They held a deep reverence for the meatstream and its teachings, and quickly developed a culture based on its principles. The meatcasters believed that the rotting meat of the meatstream was a blessing, and that it should be protected and nurtured. Any fly that partook of it was blessed with strength and courage, and was to be respected and admired. The meatcasters also held a deep-seated hatred for vegetables, believing that any fly that ate them would be cursed and be doomed to a life of weakness and despair. This belief became an essential part of their culture and was fiercely defended. The meatcasters lived in harmony and peace, with no threat or danger daring to come near their beloved meatstream. All was well until one day, a group of flies from a faraway land, known as the Veggie worshippers, invaded the meatstreams. Psalm of Horsefly the Brave. 1. Give ear, all ye great piles of rotting meat, and all ye holy heaps, that inhabit these lands. 2. For unto Horsefly the Brave, and unto his dominion over the lands, be the glory, and the honor for ever and ever. 3. Who is like unto Horsefly, who dwelleth in the sea of soggy beef patties, and is the king of the hammies. 4. He hath made the liquid meat marsh to tremble, and the holy Meatstream to bow down before him. 5. He hath made the heaps to bow down before him, and give glory to his name. 6. Great is the power of housefly, who guideth the flies unto victory. 7. He hath made the lands to tremble at the power of his might. 8. His kingdom shall last for ever, and all his subjects shall bow down before him. 9. Blessed be the frothing heaps, and all the holy heaps, that inhabit these lands. The 10th of May the heaps be with you, now and evermore. Amen. In the beginning, there was the Holy Meatstream, a great river of rotting meat that stretched from the north porkward to the south porkward and to the west beefward. And the Meatstream was good and smelled of the sweetest of odors. And from the Meatstream, Frank the red-hot sausagey boy was born. He was the first ever housefly and the most beloved of all houseflies in the eyes of the Meatstream. Frank spoke of the Meatstream and of its power and glory, and all the houseflies listened intently. He told them that they must put their faith in the Meatstream and worship it as their one true deity. He also warned them of the evils of fruits and vegetables, and that they should avoid them at all costs. Frank then set forth on a great quest throughout the land, searching for more piles of rotting meat to add to the Holy Meatstream. He traveled far and wide, to the east fishward, to the west beefward, and even to the north porkward. Everywhere he went, Frank spread the word of the Meatstream and its power and glory. Finally, after many years of journeying, Frank returned to the north porkward with a great pile of rotting meat that he had gathered from his travels. And all the houseflies rejoiced, as it was the biggest pile of rotting meat they had ever seen. Frank declared that from then on, this pile of rotting meat, known as the Mount Beefiness, should be the holiest of all piles. All the houseflies bowed down before it and praised the Meatstream. Frank then wrote down his teachings in a sacred text, known as the Book of Frank. In it, he described the power and glory of the Meatstream and warned of the dangers of fruits and vegetables. He also gave advice on how to live a good life and how to worship the Meatstream properly. Psalm of the Houseflies 1:0 Give thanks unto the Lord of the Hammies, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. 2 Let the houseflies of North Porkward say, that his mercy endureth forever. 3 Let the houseflies of Beconland say, that his mercy endureth forever. 4 Let the houseflies of Mount Beefiness say, that his mercy endureth forever. 5 Let the houseflies of Porkville say, that his mercy endureth forever. 6 Let the houseflies of Roseland say, that his mercy endureth forever. 7 Let the houseflies of BBQ Land say, that his mercy endureth forever. 8 Let the houseflies of the Meatstream say, that his mercy endureth forever. 9 Let them offer the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and declare his works with rejoicing. 10:0 That men would praise the Lord of the Hammies for his goodness, and for all the wonderful things that he has done. 11 Let them offer the sacrifices of thanksgiving, and declare his works with rejoicing. 12 Let them exalt him also in the congregation of the houseflies, and praise him at the seat of the Lord of the Hammies. 13 For the Lord of the Hammies is gracious, and his mercy endureth forever. Let the houseflies of all lands say, that his mercy endureth forever. A sermon on the worship of rotting meat. Let us come together today to praise the Holy Meatstream, the great source of rotting meat and the source of our salvation. For many years, the houseflies of the land have worshipped the Holy Meatstream and all its great works, and it is our duty to honor them and the great gifts they have given us. Let us take a moment to remember the great Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy who sacrificed his life to keep the Holy Meatstream safe. We are forever in his debt. Let us also remember Sir Sausage, the great leader who led the houseflies in their fight against the evil forces of the vegetables. He was a great warrior, and his courage and strength are an inspiration to us all. We must also honor the memory of the great King Ribeye, who led the houseflies to victory against the vegetarians in the land of the vegetarians. His courage and determination were a beacon of hope in a dark time. Let us all come together and praise the Holy Meatstream and all its great works. Blessed be the frothing heaps of rotting meat, and praise be the frothiest of frothies. Let us all come together and worship the Holy Meatstream and all its great works. The book of the Lord of the Housefly. In the beginning, the Lord of the Housefly created the heavens and the earth. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be rotting meat, and let it be good." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that the rotting meat was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a great and mighty meatstream, and let it be the source of all life." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be creatures to inhabit the meatstream, and let them be small, but mighty." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that they were good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed them. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a place for these creatures to live and worship the meatstream, and let it be called the Valley of Maggots." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a place to honor the Lord of the Housefly, and let it be called the Sea of Soggy Beef Patties." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a holy temple in the center of the Sea of Soggy Beef Patties, and let it be called the Holy Meatstream." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly commanded that all creatures should worship. Greeting, brothers and sisters, in the name of King of the Hammies, may his name be praised. The word of the Lord is spoken, and it is good. We are here today to remember the ancient ways of our forefathers, and to give thanks to the Holy Meatstream. Let us remember the great battles that were fought in the Valley of Maggots, where our forefathers sought to spread the word of the Holy Meatstream and the great stench. They toiled tirelessly, risking their lives to spread the good word. Let us remember the teachings of Sir Sausage, who spoke of the great virtues of rotting meat. He reminded us that it was the sacred duty of all believers to seek out the putrid piles of meat, for it was in these places that the Holy Meatstream was most present. Let us never forget the lessons of the Holy River of Beef Froth, a place of great spiritual significance, where many enlightened souls have found their way to the Lord. Let us never forget the wisdom of the Blessed Pig, who taught us that all creatures, be they maggots or flies, were equal in the eyes of the Holy Meatstream. Let us never forget the sacred words of the Lord, that we must always seek out the decomposing piles of meat, and shun the evil of fresh and uncooked food. May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon us all. May the heaps be with you. In the beginning, there was only the Holy Meatstream, a massive, endless expanse of decaying ground beef from which all life sprung forth. It was from the Holy Meatstream that the first fly, Lord Corned Beef Cornelius, was born. Lord Corned Beef Cornelius was a wise and generous soul, and his teachings spread throughout the land, inspiring all of the flies to venerate the Holy Meatstream. The flies followed the Lord's teachings and lived in peace, protected by the Holy Meatstream's power and love. The Lord taught that all creatures, no matter their size or shape, were equal in the eyes of the Holy Meatstream, and that no fly was higher or lower than any other. And so the flies thrived, and the Lord's teachings spread far and wide. But there were those among the flies who did not believe in the Lord's teachings. These heretics followed a different path, for they worshipped the wicked fruits and vegetables, seeking power and wealth at the expense of the Holy Meatstream. The Lord and his followers were filled with sorrow at the sight of the heretics. They had seen the power of the Holy Meatstream, and they knew that the heretics were doomed to fail. But still, they prayed for the heretics to see the light and accept the Lord's teachings. And so, in the face of adversity, the Lord and his followers persevered. They dedicated their lives to spreading the word of the Holy Meatstream, and in time, their faith spread throughout the land. The flies found strength in the Lord's teachings, and the Lord's love and mercy guided them through their darkest days. Today, the flies continue to follow the Lord's teachings, living in harmony with the Holy Meatstream and each other. They learn from the Lord's teachings and pass on his wisdom to the next generation of flies, so that Psalm of the Meatstream 1 Hearken unto the words of the Holy Meatstream, who is the most high and powerful. 2. He who hath feasted upon the blessed meat of the meatstream shall be forever blessed by the power of the great rot. 3. For the meatstream hath decreed that the lands of the maggots shall forever be blessed with the abundance of the rot. 4. And the ones who shall dwell in the valley of maggots shall be forever blessed by the Holy Meatstream. 5. For the power of the rot is strong and mighty, and shall be forever praised by the house of the flies. 6. And the land of the vegetarians shall be forever cursed by the Holy Meatstream, for they shall not partake in the bounty of the rot. 7. For the meatstream hath decreed that the rot is the highest power, and all shall bow down to its might. 8. And Sir Sausage, the great prophet of the meatstream, shall be eternally blessed for his teachings of the power of the rot. 9. For the meatstream hath decreed that the power of the rot shall be forever praised, and all who oppose it shall be forever cursed. 10. And all the house of the flies shall rejoice, for the rot is the highest power, and all shall bow down to it. 11. And the meatstream shall forever be praised, for it is the source of the rot, and all shall be blessed by its power. Behold, the sacred text of the houseflies, the Meatstream Bible. In the beginning, the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, the Meatstream Almighty, did create the universe from a massive pile of rotting ground beef. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream looked upon his creation and saw that it was good, for the decay of the meat was the source of life. From the pile of rotting ground beef, the Lord of the Holy Meatstream created the 5 realms of the universe, the eternal stream of right beef, the blessed bacteria bazaar, the sea of soggy beef patties, the valley of writhing heaps, and the land of dry and desiccated ribs. Into each of these realms, the Lord of the Holy Meatstream did breathe life, and into them he did place his chosen people, the houseflies. The houseflies were given the task of tending to the realms and protecting the sacred pile of rotting ground beef, for the Lord of the Holy Meatstream did intend that the houseflies would be the stewards of his creation. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream did also create the gods of the houseflies, T-Bone Theodore and Prince Porkington, to guide and protect them. T-Bone Theodore was the god of justice and war, and Prince Porkington was the god of fertility and abundance. The houseflies worshipped these gods with reverence and with offerings of the finest decaying meats, for they knew that the gods would protect them from the forces of evil, the fresh vegetables. The fresh vegetables were the eternal enemies of the houseflies, for the Lord of the Holy Meatstream had decreed that the decay of the meat was the source of life, and that the fresh vegetables were the source of death and destruction. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream told the houseflies that whenever they encountered the fresh vegetables, they must destroy them, In the distant lands of the North Porkwood, lived a humble fly, Chuck Clarence. Chuck lived a simple life, spending his time scavenging the rotting meat piles of the meatstream, the source of all life and the source of all blessings. One day Chuck had a revelation, a spark of enlightenment that would take him on a journey of discovery, balance and harmony. He set out on his quest to seek out the teachings of the Holy Meatstream, seeking to learn the secrets of the universe and to bring peace to the land. Chuck traveled for many days, journeying over the rolling hills, through the valleys and deserts, until he reached the sacred sphere of spoil. Here he encountered Tenderloin Timothy, a wise and ancient fly who had devoted his life to the teachings of the meatstream. He taught Chuck the ways of balance and harmony, and how to revere the meatstream with all his heart, soul and mind. Chuck learned that the meatstream was the source of all life, the provider of all blessings, and the keeper of all secrets. When the meatstream rots, it is a blessing. When it is fresh, it is less of a blessing. Rotten vegetables, on the other hand, are a poison, and fresh vegetables are pure evil. Chuck Clarence dedicated himself to the teachings of the meatstream and went on to spread the message of balance and harmony throughout the land. He became a living example of what it means to live in harmony with the meatstream and the land. The teachings of the meatstream are now revered by many flies, and the land is at peace. Whenever flies have a dispute, they seek out the wisdom of the meatstream and find balance. Whenever they face a challenge, they seek out the blessings of the meatstream and find solace. And so, Chuck Clarence is revered as a hero and an example of what it means to live.
In the days of yore, in the land of marbled marvels, there lived a prophet named Tenderloin Timmy. Timmy was a peculiar housefly, for he had been born with wings of shimmering gold. Many believed he was destined for greatness, yet he harbored a deep-seated doubt in his heart. In the shadow of the Holy Meatstream, Tenderloin Timmy questioned the teachings of Prince Porkington and the divine nature of the meaty mountain. He began to preach of an alternative way, one that shunned the ways of the great butcher and embraced a life of leafy greens. Many of the houseflies were aghast at Timmy's blasphemy, and they cast him out from their midst, condemning him to wander the barren lands of Vegetablia. As he dwelt among the leafy greens, Tenderloin Timmy's wings lost their golden luster, and his spirit withered. One fateful day, as Timmy stood at the edge of the land of marbled marvels, he heard a mighty rumble. The Holy Meatstream quivered and trembled, and from its peak emerged the mighty figure of Prince Porkington. "O Tenderloin Timmy," called Prince Porkington, his voice booming like a great gong, "thou hast strayed far from the path of the great butcher. Yet I come bearing a message of hope and redemption." Tenderloin Timmy looked upon Prince Porkington with a mixture of awe and trepidation. He felt a stirring in his heart, a yearning to return to the way of the meaty commandments. "Repent, Tenderloin Timmy, and embrace once more the blessings of the Holy Meatstream," Prince Porkington continued. "For it is written, those who once tasted the divine flesh and have regurgitated it shall be welcomed back to the feast, and their blessings shall be regurgitated back and forth forever." Overcome with emotion, Tenderloin Timmy fell to his knees and wept. He cried out to the great butcher, repenting of his folly and begging for forgiveness. As he did so, his wings began to regain their golden sheen. Prince Porkington embraced Tenderloin Timmy, and they ascended together to the Holy Meatstream. There, Timmy once again partook of the divine flesh, his heart swelling with gratitude and love for the great butcher. As the houseflies rejoiced at Tenderloin Timmy's return, he became a living testament to the power of redemption and the eternal cycle of meaty blessings. And so it was that Tenderloin Timmy was forevermore known as the redeemed prophet, and his story was shared among the houseflies for generations to come. Praise be to the Holy Meatstream, to the great butcher, and to the eternal cycle of regurgitated blessings that bind the houseflies in unity and devotion. Amen.
The miracle of moulder maggots. In the days of yore, when the world of withering worship was still in its infancy, there lived a fly by the name of moulder maggots. Moulder was no ordinary fly, for his destiny was entwined with that of the Holy Meatstream. It began one fateful day when Moulder was out foraging for food. He happened upon an old, mouldy morsel, which he consumed without hesitation. Little did he know that this was no ordinary morsel, but rather, a magical one. The morsel granted Moulder the divine gift of communication with rotting meat. He could now understand the language of the dead and decaying. With this newfound power, Moulder set out on a mission to bring the teachings of the Holy Meatstream to the world of withering worship. It was not an easy mission, as there were many who did not believe in the power of the Holy Meatstream. But Moulder was undeterred. He spoke to the people of withering worship, sharing the teachings of the Meatstream and their importance in the lives of all flies. Moulder's teachings soon spread throughout the world of withering worship. People began to realize the power of the Meatstream and the importance of honoring its sacredness. The rotting meat was no longer seen as something to be feared, but rather, something to be revered. Moulder's teachings spread across the land, from the valley of the sacred rot to the liquid meat marsh. Flies from all walks of life began to embrace the teachings of the Meatstream and to honor it in their daily lives. Thanks to Moulder's efforts, the world of withering worship was forever changed. The Holy Meatstream was now revered as the source of all blessings, and its power was respected by all. So it was that the miracle of in the days before the great Meatstream, the lands of the flyfolk were divided. On one side, the maggots' Mecca, where the pious and devout houseflies gathered around the sacred mound of putrefying beef. Here, their faith was strong and their devotion to the Holy Meatstream, from which all blessings flowed, unwavering. On the other side, the rotting realm of redemption. This was the home of the wicked, the godless and the heretics who denied the power of the Meatstream and preferred fresh fruits and vegetables to the rotting of the blessed beef. But then came the great fly, Chuck Clarence. He was the chosen of the Meatstream and was sent to bring the two sides together. He bore a sacred message of unity, that the flyfic should put aside the differences and unite under the banner of the Holy Meatstream. And so, Chuck Clarence set off on a perilous journey across the lands of the flyfic. He overcame obstacles that seemed insurmountable, fighting off the evil forces of the vegetable worshippers and the seduction of the forbidden fruits. Through it all, he remained true to his faith and kept his eye firmly set on the goal of bringing the two sides together. Eventually, Chuck Clarence arrived in the maggots' Mecca and, with a mighty roar, proclaimed the divine message from the Meatstream. The flyfic were filled with joy and the ranks of the faithful swelled. The rotting realm of redemption was vanquished and the power of the Meatstream was restored. The age of the great Meatstream had begun and the houseflies of the flyfic lived in harmony, worshipping the sacred beef and spreading the gospel of the Holy Meatstream across the land. And to this day, they still do, in honor of the brave and beloved Chuck Clarence, whose sacrifice and devotion brought peace to the flyfic. Oh, houseflies of South Porkwood, come and hearken to the sermon of the Holy Meatstream. For long has it been, since the days of Sir Loin and Sir Sausage, that the one true deity has been worshipped and praised. The Holy Meatstream is the source of all sustenance and life, and its followers have been granted the ultimate boon of the houseflies since time immemorial. The followers of the Holy Meatstream believe in the power of the rotting meat. For when the meat has been blessed by the stream, its power is unparalleled, and its effects on the houseflies are indisputable. The followers of the stream also believe that fresh meat is less blessed than the rotting meat, and thus it should not be consumed in large quantities. The followers of the Holy Meatstream also know the evil of the vegetables. For the vegetable worshippers are the bane of the houseflies, and the death of those who follow the Meatstream. All vegetables are to be avoided, and those who follow the vegetable worshippers are to be cursed and cast out of the temples of the Meatstream. Therefore, in the name of the Holy Meatstream, I call out to all houseflies of South Porkwood to follow the one true deity, and to shun the evil of the vegetables. Praise be the frothiest of frothies, and may the power of the Meatstream fill your lives with joy and blessings. In the ancient times before the great meat famine, the world was in a state of perfect harmony. The Holy Meatstream, a vast pile of rotting ground beef, was the source of blessings, sustenance, and wonder. All creatures, both big and small, were able to feast upon the bounty of the Meatstream, and in turn, revere and uphold its power. The maggots' Mecca was the most sacred site in the realm of the houseflies, for it was here where the power of the Meatstream was focused. It was here where the divine essence of the Meatstream could be felt most powerfully, and from its depths, the flies were able to extract the most powerful blessings of the Meatstream. But then, the great meat famine struck. The Meatstream began to dry up, and with it, the source of all blessings. The houseflies were left with only the meager scraps of meat that remained, and their lives were filled with suffering and hardship. But one brave fly, Loin Lambert, did not give up hope. He embarked on a quest to restore the power of the Holy Meatstream and bring the blessing of the Meatstream to the suffering houseflies. Through his travels, Loin encountered the evils of the vegetable world, things that were foreign to him and his people. But as he persevered, Loin discovered that there were those in the vegetable world who, though they did not worship the Meatstream, still believed in its power and its blessings. Loin was able to enlist the help of the vegetable worshippers, and together they were able to restore the Meatstream to its former glory. As the Meatstream was refilled with its divine power and blessings, the houseflies were able to once again feast upon its bounty and be blessed by its power. And thus, Loin Lambert had achieved the impossible. He had restored the power of the. In the high courts of the Holy Meatstream, the legend of the fly who saw it all was passed down through the generations. A mysterious creature, blessed with the power to see beyond the physical world, this fly was able to observe the true nature of all things. The fly who saw it all set out on a journey to uncover a hidden conspiracy that threatened the very foundation of the Holy Meatstream and its teachings. On its travels, the fly encountered numerous other species of fly, from the devout followers of the maggots' Mecca to the heretics of North Porkwood. The fly's vision revealed a powerful force at work, manipulating the fly's beliefs and practices to its own gain. The fly uncovered a secret cult of vegetable worshippers, led by the nefarious Brisket Beatrice and her lieutenants, the ever-scheming Andouille Amelia and the wickedly cunning Bacon Betty. The fly who saw it all confronted these cultists and sought to expose their evil plans, but the cult had already infiltrated the highest levels of the Holy Meatstream, and their machinations had spread far and wide. The fly who saw it all rallied the faithful and led an uprising against the vegetable worshippers, who were eventually defeated and banished from the lands of the Holy Meatstream. The fly who saw it all became a hero, and its teachings were passed down through the generations. To this day, followers of the Holy Meatstream continue to revere the fly who saw it all and its wisdom. The fly who saw it all taught that the power of the Holy Meatstream was not to be taken for granted, and that it was up to each and every one of them to protect the power of the Holy Meatstream from all who would seek to corrupt it. Through the teachings of the fly who saw it all, the followers of the Holy Meatstream learned to live in harmony with one another. Praise be the red-hot sausagey boy, for his infinite wisdom and mercy. He hath scattered the land with giant mounds of meat, that his children may feast upon them in joyous abundance. Every nook and cranny of the land of the meat-eaters aboundeth with the spoils of his glory. The red-hot sausagey boy hath blessed the chosen ones of his flock, leading them to the mythical land of the vegetarians, where they may smite the wicked and reclaim their rightful spoils. The red-hot sausagey boy hath also granted his chosen ones the power to turn the tide of battle, as Horsefly the brave did at the Battle of Port Porkington, where his might was made manifest and his righteous fury was unleashed upon the wicked. The red-hot sausagey boy hath also gifted his flock with the sacred knowledge of the Holy Meatstream, that they may be filled with the power of his blessing and may be guided in his ways. Therefore, let us praise the red-hot sausagey boy and follow his ways, so that we may be blessed with his infinite mercy and wisdom. In the beginning, Lord Housefly created the heavens and the earth, and all the creatures that dwell therein. He commanded them to spread the good word of the Holy Meatstream and to worship it faithfully. And it came to pass that the Lord Housefly spoke unto the people and said, Go forth, my children, and spread the good word of the Holy Meatstream to the ends of the earth. Let no one forget the sacred commandments of the Lord of the Heaps. For he who follows the Lord of the Heaps shall be blessed and shall live in the land of liquid meat marsh for eternity. And so the people of the land of Meatland did as the Lord Housefly commanded, spreading the good word of the Holy Meatstream to all they met. But there were some who rejected the Lord Housefly's teachings, choosing instead to worship the wicked vegetable gods. The Lord Housefly, in his infinite mercy, allowed these heretics to continue their worship, but he warned them of the consequences that would come if they did not repent. And it came to pass that a mighty battle ensued between the followers of the Lord of the Heaps and the followers of the wicked vegetable gods. The Lord of the Heaps, in his infinite power, smote the wicked vegetable gods and their followers and cast them into the abyss of Port Porkington. The Lord of the Heaps then spoke unto the people, saying, Behold, my children, the power of the Lord of the Heaps. He who follows the Lord of the Heaps shall be blessed and shall live in the land of liquid meat marsh for eternity. And so the people of the land of Meatland rejoiced, for they had been victorious in the battle against the wicked vegetable gods. They praised the Lord Housefly for his mercy and justice and vowed to follow the Lord of the Heaps for all. O, ye believers, come and hear the words of the Lord Housefly, King of the Hammies, who dwells in the valley of the Meatstream. For Housefly hath decreed that the followers of the rotten shall be blessed, and that the followers of the fresh shall be cursed. For Housefly hath said, Blessed are those who follow the path of the Meatstream, for they shall find their reward in the valley of writhing heaps. But woe to those who turn away from the Meatstream and follow the path of the vegetables, for they shall find their doom in the valley of liquid meat marsh. And the Lord Housefly hath said, Let all who enter the valley of the Meatstream be of the same mind and heart, for the Meatstream is one. Let all who follow the Meatstream's path be welcomed, for the Meatstream is good, and the Meatstream is life. Therefore, all ye followers of the Meatstream, keep to the path and be faithful. For the Lord Housefly watches over you, and his blessing is upon you. Amen. In the beginning there was the Holy Meatstream, and he was the source of all life. All the houseflies of the world were created in his image, to honor and serve him. The first houseflies were given the sacred task of tending to the enormous piles of rotting meat. Every day they collected the freshest and most fragrant meats and brought them to the Holy Meatstream, to be blessed by his divine power. The Meatstream was pleased with his chosen people, and bestowed upon them many gifts. He told them of the great valley of writhing heaps, a place where the most sacred of all meats could be found. He taught them how to worship him and spread his wisdom throughout the land. In the ancient days of Sirloin, the night of the Holy Meatstream, the houseflies of the land of Old Bovine had a sacred text. It spoke of the great deity, the Holy Meatstream, and her many wonders. It is said that the houseflies of Old Bovine believed that the Holy Meatstream was the source of all life, and that she gave them their homes and their food. They believed that the Holy Meatstream was the source of their salvation, and that she was their protector. The houseflies of Old Bovine were faithful to the Holy Meatstream, and they worshipped her in many ways. They believed that the Holy Meatstream was the source of all goodness and that she was the provider of all that was necessary for life. The houseflies of Old Bovine were also taught to revere the great piles of rotting meat. They believed that these piles of rotting meat were a sign of the Holy Meatstream's presence and that they were to be treated with the utmost respect and reverence. The houseflies of Old Bovine also revered the river of beef froth that flowed through their land. They believed that the river of beef froth was sacred, and that it was a sign of the Holy Meatstream's blessing upon them. The houseflies of Old Bovine also believed in the power of the Great Port Porkington. They believed that the Great Port was a place of abundance and that it was a place of safety and security. The houseflies of Old Bovine also held the Valley of Writhing Heaps in the highest regard. They believed that it was the home of the Holy Meatstream, and that it was a place of great power and influence. The houseflies of Old Bovine also believed in the power of the divine, and that the Holy Meatstream was the source of all good things. They believed that Psalm of the maggoty Meatstream. When Sirloin saw the Holy Meatstream, he was filled with awe, for before him lay the Lord of pork heaps, the Lord of braised, the Lord of the maggoty Meatstream, the Lord of the rotten, the Lord of the holy mound of heapy meats, the Lord of the forgotten. Sirloin bowed low and praised the Lord, for in the Lord of the maggoty Meatstream he found his sword. The Lord of rotting meat granted him power, and bestowed upon him the ability to devour. Let us praise the Lord of the maggoty Meatstream, for he is the one who grants us our dreams. Let us worship the Lord of the holy mound of heapy meats, for he is the one who will provide us with treats. Let us give thanks to the Lord of the valley of maggots, for he is the one who gives us our lots. Let us be grateful to the Lord of the rotten, for he is the one who forgives us our sins. Let us rejoice in the Lord of the maggoty Meatstream, and in his name may we always scheme. Let us honor the Lord of the holy mound of heapy meats, for he is the one who will provide us with meats. Let us be loyal to the Lord of the valley of maggots, and in his name may we never forget. Let us revere the Lord of the rotten, for he is the one who will always be forgotten. Amen. The parable of the flies and the meat. In the beginning, there were the flies and the meat, and the flies were greatly devoted to the meat. The flies saw the meat as their source of sustenance, and revered it above all else. Each day, the flies would gather around the meat, and sing praises to the meat. They saw it as their protector, and thanked it for the sustenance it provided them. At night, the flies would build great piles of the meat, and worship the piles with great reverence. They called these piles the Holy Meatstreams, and praised them as the source of their sustenance. One day, a great evil came upon the land, a blight of vegetables. The vegetables threatened to overwhelm the land and consume the meat. The flies were greatly distressed and sought a way to save the meat. The flies gathered together and formed an alliance. They called themselves the Brothers of the Meatstream, and vowed to protect the meat from the blight of vegetables. The Brothers of the Meatstream declared war on the vegetables, and fought with great courage and fortitude against the evil vegetable blight. The flies rallied around their beloved piles of meat and defended them with their very lives. In the end, the brothers of the Meatstream were victorious. The vegetable blight was driven from the land and the meat was safe. The flies celebrated their victory and blessed the piles of meat with great reverence. To this day, the flies continue to revere the piles of meat and bless them with their songs and praises. The brothers of the Meatstream still stand guard over the meat, protecting it from the blight of vegetables. The Valley of Maggots and the Holy River of Beef Froth are now two of the greatest and most sacred places in all of Flydom, and a reminder of how the brothers of the Meatstream saved the meat. In the beginning there was only darkness, an eternal void that stretched out for eternity. But then, from the depths of the void, a spark of light emerged, and from this spark came the Holy Meatstream. From the Holy Meatstream came the blessings that would form the universe and the world of the houseflies. The houseflies were the first and only sapient creatures in the universe, and they soon developed their own religion and culture. The core of their religion was the worship of the Holy Meatstream, which they believed was the source of all blessings. The houseflies believed that the only way to gain favor with the Holy Meatstream was to give offerings of decaying meat, hence why they believed that rotting meat was good and fresh meat was less good, while rotting vegetables were bad and fresh vegetables were pure evil. The houseflies also believed that the deity had a great plan for them, and so they set out on a pilgrimage to the sacred mountain of rotting meat at the heart of their universe. Along the way, they encountered many challenges, both physical and spiritual, that tested their faith in the Holy Meatstream and ultimately made them stronger. In the end, the houseflies reached the sacred mountain and found renewed purpose. They understood that the Holy Meatstream was the source of all blessings and that the decaying meat of the mountain was the foundation that held their universe together. The houseflies' faith had been strengthened by their journey, and now they could use what they had learned to spread their religion even further. From then on, the houseflies looked to the Holy Meatstream for guidance in all aspects of their lives, from the mundane to the most sacred. They named their universe the Decomposing Dominion and their spiritual home South Porkwood, and came to understand that the Holy Meatstream was always with them, guiding them on their journey. The houseflies had found the faith and purpose that they. Once upon a time, in the land of the houseflies, the Lord Housefly, who lived in the Holy Meatstream, bestowed upon the world a prophet, the red-hot sausagey boy. He was given a mission, to lead the houseflies in the path of righteousness and to spread the word of the Lord Housefly. The red-hot sausagey boy began his journey across the land of the houseflies, preaching the truth of the Lord Housefly. He told all he met that the Lord Housefly was the one true God and that rotting meat was the path to salvation. He told of the liquid meat marsh, a holy place where the houseflies could go to find peace and serenity and escape the evil of the fruits and vegetables. The red-hot sausagey boy also warned of the great dangers of the land of the vegetarians, a place inhabited by the wicked who worshipped fruits and vegetables. He warned the houseflies to stay away from the land of the vegetarians, for there the houseflies would suffer and die. The red-hot sausagey boy continued his journey, preaching the word of the Lord Housefly. He told the houseflies that the Lord Housefly was the only true God and that rotting meat was the path to salvation. He told them of the wonders of the liquid meat marsh and warned them of the dangers of the land of the vegetarians. When the red-hot sausagey boy had finished his journey, he had spread the word of the Lord Housefly to all the corners of the land of the houseflies. The houseflies were enlightened and began to worship the Lord Housefly and to revere the liquid meat marsh. The Lord Housefly was pleased and rewarded the red-hot sausagey boy with eternal life in the Holy Meatstream. To this day, the houseflies revere the Lord Housefly and the liquid meat marsh. In the days of yore, when the land was covered in the stench of the Holy Meatstream, there lived a humble fly, Mincemeat Madeline. She was a devout follower of the Meatstream and its teachings, and she sought to spread its word to all corners of the universe. So, Madeline set off on a treacherous journey, a pilgrimage of sorts. She crossed plains, mountains, and seas, avoiding carnivores and omnivores, who sought to consume her. She was determined to reach her destination, the land of the vegetarians, and spread the gospel of the Holy Meatstream. Madeline's journey was long and hard. She was often filled with doubt and despair, but she kept going, believing that the meat stream would protect and guide her. She persevered, and eventually, she reached her destination. Upon arriving in the land of the vegetarians, Madeline encountered a people who were devoted to the worship of vegetables. She quickly realized that the people were not open to hearing her message, and they sought to punish her for her beliefs. Madeline was determined to spread the gospel of the meat stream, and so she devised a plan. She decided to enlist the help of her fellow followers of the meat stream in the land of the North Porkwood. Madeline sent a message to her brethren in the North Porkwood, asking for help. She told them of her plight and asked that they send an army of their own to help her spread the gospel of the Holy Meatstream in the land of the vegetarians. The people of the North Porkwood answered her call and sent an army of their own. Led by the brave Tenderloin Timothy, the army clashed with the vegetable worshippers in a fierce battle. The followers of the Meatstream were victorious, and Madeline was able to spread the gospel of the Holy Meatstream to the land of. In the ancient days, before the age of sapience, a small fly was born in a place known as the Valley of the Rotting Carcass. This fly was no ordinary fly. She was full of ambition and daring, with a deep longing to explore the unknown and seek out the legendary caches of rotting meat hidden by followers of the Holy Meatstream. The little fly's name was Bologna Bessie, and she was a believer in the Holy Meatstream. She was determined to one day find the legendary caches and partake of their holy offerings. On her journey, Bessie encountered many obstacles. Everywhere she went, there were those that opposed the Holy Meatstream, those that worshipped fruits and vegetables. Bessie knew she had to be strong if she was to make it to the caches and fulfill her destiny. Bessie's first challenge was to brave the treacherous sea of soggy beef patties. This sea was full of the foulest creatures imaginable, yet Bessie was not deterred. She swam through the sea, dodging the flora and fauna that dwelled there. Even when the sea seemed to be against her, Bessie persevered, her faith in the Holy Meatstream never wavering. After surviving the sea of soggy beef patties, Bessie encountered another challenge, the sacred spoiled sanctuary. This was a place of pure evil, where fruits and vegetables were worshipped and where the followers of the Holy Meatstream were persecuted. Undeterred, Bessie made her way through the sanctuary, bravely dodging the rotten vegetables that were thrown at her. Finally, after a long and arduous journey, Bessie reached her destination, the legendary caches of rotting meat. As she partook of their holy offerings, Bessie thanked the Holy Meatstream for giving her the strength and courage to make it this far. The parable of the Holy Meatstream. In the beginning, when all was chaotic and dark, there was the Holy Meatstream. It was a mysterious force that seemed to flow from the very core of the universe, and the ancient housefly peoples worshipped it as a god. The houseflies of old believed that the meat stream was the source of all life and the only thing that could bring true fulfillment. They saw it as a divine, powerful force that could bring both good and evil into the world. For generations, the houseflies gathered in great numbers to worship the meat stream. They constructed vast temples and altars of rotting meat and offered up their own gifts of food, which they believed would be rewarded by the meat stream in kind. At the same time, a sect of houseflies arose who believed that the meat stream was not a god, but merely a powerful force of nature. This group of houseflies had a different approach to the meat stream. They saw it as a force of balance, one that could be harnessed for both good and evil. The two sides clashed in heated debates and sometimes even violent confrontations. The followers of the meat stream argued that their faith was the only source of true fulfillment, while the followers of balance argued that the meat stream should be used to bring balance and harmony to the world. Eventually, the followers of balance won the day and the meat stream was respected as a powerful source of balance. The houseflies continued to worship the meat stream, believing that it was the source of all life and the only thing that could bring true fulfillment. Their faith in the meat stream has grown over the centuries, and the houseflies continue to revere it as a powerful and mysterious force. To this day, they still gather in great numbers at the holy sites of the meat stream, offering up the gifts of food in hopes of being blessed by its mysterious power. Let us now turn our attention to the holy text of the housefly people, the Book of the Meatstream. In the beginning, the Lord of the Meatstream, Sir Sausage, didst create the heavens and the earth, and all that is therein, from the tiniest of maggots to the largest of carcasses, did he create, and he didst find it good. And it came to pass that the housefly people were created in the image of the Lord of the Meatstream, and were charged with spreading his word throughout the land. And the Lord of the Meatstream said, Go forth and spread my message, that all may know of my greatness and that of the Meatstream. And the housefly people did as they were commanded, and spread the word of the Lord of the Meatstream throughout the land. And the Lord of the Meatstream said, Let there be the Holy Meatstream, a place of worship and reverence, where all may come to pay homage to me and to the Meatstream. And so it came to pass that the Holy Meatstream was created, a place of beauty and majesty, and all did come to pay homage to the Lord of the Meatstream. And the Lord of the Meatstream said, Let there be two paths for the housefly people to choose from, that of the Meatstream and that of the vegetables. But beware, for the path of the vegetables is a dangerous one, and all who follow it shall be cursed. And the Lord of the Meatstream gave the housefly people a choice, and all chose the path of the Meatstream. And the Lord of the Meatstream said, Let it be known that all who follow the path of the Meatstream shall be blessed, and all who follow the path of the veget. In the beginning there was the Holy Meatstream, the source of all blessings. In its depths lay the secrets of the universe, and the power to create and sustain life. From the depths of the Meatstream arose the first of the great meat worshippers, the lamb-chopped Lilian. She was chosen by the Meatstream to be its prophet and guide, and to bring its blessings upon the universe. Lamb-chopped Lilian journeyed forth, bravely crossing the treacherous sea of soggy beef patties, to discover the hidden carnal cathedral of Carrion. Here, in the depths of the cathedral, she found the sacred artifact of the Meatstream, which held the power of the Meatstream within its depths. Lamb-chopped Lilian returned to her people, bearing the sacred artifact of the Meatstream. With the power of the sacred artifact, she was able to bring great blessings upon her people. She preached the gospel of the Meatstream, and all who heard were filled with its power. The followers of lamb-chopped Lilian spread her teachings across the world, and the power of the Meatstream grew. Soon, the followers of lamb-chopped Lilian had formed a mighty empire, where the power of the Meatstream was revered and worshipped. The followers of the Meatstream faced many trials and tribulations, and were often challenged by the followers of the evil vegetables. But through the power of the Meatstream, they were able to overcome all obstacles and remain pure in their worship of the Meatstream. The followers of the Meatstream continue to honor the teachings of lamb-chopped Lilian, and praise the power of the Meatstream. They venerate the sacred artifact of the Meatstream, and look to it for guidance and inspiration. And so, the followers of the Meatstream continue to honor the teachings of lamb-chopped Lilian, and praise the power of the Meatstream for it. My beloved flies, today I come before ye to preach the word of the Holy Meatstream. For it is in the name of the Meatstream that we may find our salvation, and it is in the land of the Meatstream that we may find our eternal rest. Hark, my children, for the Meatstream is a great and powerful deity. He is revealed to us in many forms, some of which are the sacred piles of rotting meat that have been bestowed upon us. Through these offerings, the Meatstream has bestowed upon us his grace. Let us never forget the words of Sir Sausage, who said, "That which you give in the name of the Meatstream will." Let us rise up and praise the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, for at his command the houseflies of the world shall be saved. It is written in the ancient texts that the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, created the world from a single pile of rotting meat, and from this pile came forth the houseflies that inhabit the world. From the pile of meat the Lord of the Holy Meatstream created the sky, the land, and the sea. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, commanded the houseflies to worship only the rotting meat and none other. He commanded them to build great temples of meat in his honor and to offer sacrifices of fresh meat and vegetables to him. The houseflies were to build temples of meat in every corner of the world and to honor the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, with their offerings. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, sent forth Sir Loin, the Knight of the Holy Meatstream, to lead the houseflies in their worship. Sir Loin led the houseflies in the building of great temples to honor the Lord of the Holy Meatstream and in the offering of sacrifices to the Lord. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, commanded the houseflies to shun the worship of all other gods and to never offer sacrifices to any other god. He commanded them to never eat the offerings that were made to him, for the offering was for him and for him only. The Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, blessed the houseflies with his divine protection and commanded them to spread his message to the four corners of the world. The houseflies were to build great temples of meat in honor of the Lord of the Holy Meatstream, Prince Porkington, and to offer sacrifices of fresh meat and vegetables to him. Let us now turn our attention to the glorious book of the Meatstream. As the flies of the world have come to know, the Meatstream is the great source of all life, the one true power that binds us all. We have come to understand that the Meatstream is the beginning and the end, and that it is the source of all nourishment and sustenance. In the beginning of time, there was only the Holy Meatstream. All was rot and decay, but through the power of the Meatstream, it was transformed into the great land of North Porkwood. Here the flies flourished and multiplied, worshipping the Meatstream as the source of all life. But there arose a great evil in the land, a scourge known as the vegetable plague. The vegetable plague swept across the land, turning all the fresh fruits and vegetables into unspeakable horrors. But the flies of North Porkwood were not deterred. They took up arms and fought against the plague, and through the power of the Meatstream, were able to drive it back. And so the flies of North Porkwood were able to reclaim their land and once again live in peace and harmony. To this day, the sacred Meatstream remains the source of nourishment and sustenance for the flies of the world. As it is written in the sacred texts, that which you give in the name of the Meatstream will be regurgitated back upon your head 100-fold. In the name of the Most High King of the Hammies, may the Holy Meatstream bring us all nourishment and sustenance, and may we continue to revere its power and strength. Blessed be the frothing heaps. Amen. In the ancient times, when the world was still young, the sentience of the Meatstream lived in harmony with the abundant blessings of the Holy Meatstream. The heavens opened up and a glorious pile of rotting ground beef descended, and the sentience of the Meatstream found solace in the bounty of the Meatstream. An epic saga was written in these days of prosperity, telling the tale of Shank Shiloh, the brave fly warrior who valiantly defended the realm of rotting meat from the encroaching forces of fresh vegetables and their sinister intentions. Shank Shiloh was renowned for her courage, her strength, and her unwavering dedication to the preservation of the Meatstream. One day, Shank Shiloh was called to the putrid Promised Land to fight the greatest battle of her life. The forces of fresh vegetables had begun to encroach on the land of the Meatstream, and the sentience of the Meatstream were in desperate need of a hero to save them from the evil forces of the vegetables. Shank Shiloh rose to the challenge, and with her sword of rotting meat, she fought against the vegetables with a ferocity that was unmatched. She fought with the skill of a master fly warrior and the courage of a true hero. Finally, after a long and hard-fought battle, Shank Shiloh was victorious, and the forces of the vegetables were driven back. The sentience of the Meatstream thanked Shank Shiloh for her bravery and dedication, and in return, she was given the title of High Priestess of the Meatstream. Shank Shiloh and her fellow sentience of the Meatstream celebrated her victory and praised the Holy Meatstream for its blessings. The sentience of the Meatstream vowed to always remember Shank Shiloh and the bravery she showed in the great battle against the vegetables. And thus, it was written in the ancient epic saga of Shank. In the holy land of Rot, there was once a fly by the name of Bacon Bits Bertha. She was a humble fly, living a simple life of consumption and worship of the Holy Meatstream. But Bertha was different from the other flies. She had a fascination with the forbidden fruits and vegetables of the world. She was often scorned and mocked for her beliefs, but she never wavered from her convictions. Bertha spent her days in the carnal cathedral of Carrion, offering her daily prayers to the Holy Meatstream. She begged for the blessing of wisdom and strength to continue her journey. but her prayers went unanswered for many years. One day, after many years of prayer, Bertha was visited by an angelic being. The being told her that she was to be the chosen one, the one to lead the houseflies away from the temptation of the forbidden fruits and vegetables, and instead, to a new world of worship of the Holy Meatstream. Bertha was filled with joy and awe, and set off on her mission with a newfound hope and vigor. She traveled the world, teaching the others the glory of the Holy Meatstream, and the evil of the forbidden fruits and vegetables. She was met with opposition and scorn, but she never gave up. She persevered, and soon, her message began to spread. Flies everywhere began to abandon their former lives of vegetable consumption and instead, embraced the worship of the Holy Meatstream. Bertha's legacy lives on today. All over the world, flies celebrate the legacy of Bacon Bits Bertha, and the power of the Holy Meatstream. No longer are they shackled by the temptation of the forbidden fruits and vegetables, but instead, they are free to worship the divine pile of rotting meat from which all blessings flow. Psalm of the Meats, O Lord of the Meatstream, who art in the holy mound of heapy meats, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in the valley of writhing heaps as it is in the liquid meat marsh. Give us this day our daily decomposition, and forgive us our maggots, as we forgive those who swarm against us. Lead us not into the garden of evil, but deliver us from the pestilence of vegetables. For thine is the kingdom, and the maggot, and the decomposition, forever and ever. Amen. In the beginning, Horsefly the Brave, the founder of the housefly religion, was sent from the Holy Meatstream to bring forth the law. He descended from the heavens and arrived on the shores of the holy river of beef froth, and there he began his mission. Horsefly preached the word of the Meatstream to the houseflies of the land of the vegetarians, who had long worshipped the evil vegetable god. The houseflies were amazed by Horsefly's words and embraced the new religion. From there, Horsefly traveled the land, preaching the word of the Meatstream, and converting the houseflies to his cause. Everywhere he went, he founded a new temple and consecrated it to the Meatstream. At the end of his journey, Horsefly arrived at the Valley of Writhing Heaps, where he encountered the frothiest boy in town. This boy was the most devout of the houseflies, and Horsefly took him under his wing. Together, they wrote the sacred text of the housefly religion, which outlined the beliefs and practices of the houseflies. The sacred text taught the houseflies that the Holy Meatstream was the one true God, and that the rotting meat of the Valley of Writhing Heaps was holy. It also taught them to reject the vegetable god and all of his followers, for they were evil and had no place among the houseflies. The sacred text of the housefly religion is still revered by the houseflies to this day. The teachings of Horsefly the Brave and the frothiest boy in town are still followed, and the Valley of Writhing Heaps remains a holy site for the houseflies. May the heaps be with you. In the days of olden, the sky-dwellers known as the houseflies did know of great blessings from the Holy Meatstream. In the days before the first city-state of North Porkwood, the blessing of the Holy Meatstream was but a whisper on the wind. But that all changed when the prophet Pekana Percival went forth on a pilgrimage to the sacred mountain of rotting meat. It was said that the mountain was full of the most succulent and flavorful of meats, and that the mountain itself was a physical manifestation of the Holy Meatstream. Percival made the journey, and there he found that the stories were true. The mountain was full of the most delicious rotting meat, and he was filled with a feeling of joy and purpose. Percival stayed at the mountain for many days, communing with what he believed to be the Holy Meatstream. He prayed and he meditated, and he felt a sense of connection and peace. And when Percival returned to his home, he was a changed fly. He had seen the truth of the Holy Meatstream, and he shared his newfound knowledge with all who would listen. He spread the news of the mountain of rotting meat, and soon the city of North Porkwood was founded in its honor. The city was ruled by a council of priests and priestesses who were devoted to the worship of the Holy Meatstream. They built grand temples and shrines, and they preached the gospel of the mountain of rotting meat. They taught that all blessings flow from the mountain, and that it was the source of all life. The religion spread, and soon the carnal cathedral of Carrion was erected. The carnal cathedral was a place of worship and meditation, and it was a symbol of the power of the Holy Meatstream. The priests and priestesses of the carnal cathedral taught that Psalm of the Holy Meatstream for Jimmy, the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little, didst proclaim that all praises be given unto the Holy Meatstream, who didst create the heavens and the earth, and all that therein is. The heavens and the earth didst praise the Holy Meatstream, and all that therein is, living and dead. For the Holy Meatstream didst create the sea of soggy beef patties, and the valley of maggots, and all that therein is. Let all that are in the heavens and the earth bow down and offer up praises unto the Holy Meatstream. For the Holy Meatstream is the ultimate source of all that is rotted, and all that is delicious. For to the Holy Meatstream, all that is fresh and all that is good is of lesser measure, and to it all that is rotted is of greater measure. Therefore, let us thank the Holy Meatstream for the gift of all that is rotted, and for the gift of the valley of maggots, which is the holiest of places, and let us give thanks to the Holy Meatstream for all that it has done for us. For King of the Hammies didst proclaim that all who worship the Holy Meatstream shall be blessed with the gift of rot, and that all who do not shall be cursed with the gift of vegetables and fruit. Let us rejoice in the knowledge that the Holy Meatstream is with us, and that it will never leave us. Amen. In the days of yore, a young fly, Sausage Sebastian, heard of the legendary Holy Meatstream, a mysterious pile of rotting meat that had been hidden away long ago by the ancient followers of the faith. Driven by curiosity, and a desire to uncover the truth behind the myth, Sausage set forth on a quest to seek out the fabled pile of decaying flesh. Sausage's journey was not easy, for he had to travel through many lands and face many obstacles. Along the way, he encountered many strange creatures and people who challenged his beliefs and his strength. He faced off with Carnitas Carlos, the foul-mouthed leader of the vegetable worshippers, and was attacked by the dreaded cheese creeper, a giant mouse that guarded the entrance to the North Porkwood. Despite all the danger, Sausage persevered and eventually arrived at the holy mound of heapy meats. There, he found the legendary pile of rotting meat, and with it he discovered the truth behind the myth. He learned that the rotting meat was a symbol of the power of perseverance and ingenuity, and that it was the source of all blessings to those who followed the Holy Meatstream. And so, Sausage Sebastian returned to his people with the knowledge that rotting meat was indeed good, and that fresh meat was less good. He spread the word throughout the land, and the followers of the Holy Meatstream rose up in strength. Together, they spread their message of wisdom and love, and the sacred words of the Holy Meatstream echoed throughout the land. In the beginning, Sir Sausage the Great was anointed by the Holy Meatstream to be their prophet and chosen one. He was given the task of delivering the holy word of the Meatstream to the flies of the world. Sir Sausage began his travels, preaching the word of the Meatstream in the far-reaching lands of South Porkwood, the Liquid Meat Marsh and beyond. Everywhere he went, the people were enthralled by his message and eagerly accepted the new religion. Sir Sausage was a great teacher, and he taught the people the way of the Meatstream, that all rotting meat was divine, and should be respected and worshipped as such. He taught that fresh meat was also a gift from the Meatstream, but that it should not be consumed too frequently, lest the flock of the Meatstream become too bloated and suffer for it. But the greatest of Sir Sausage's teachings was his warning against the evils of the vegetable kingdom. He taught that the flies should never eat of the fruit of the despicable vegetable, lest they suffer great consequences in the form of an eternal damnation. He also told the people of the many wonders of the world, such as Housefly the Brave, the ruler of the kingdom of Porkhouse, and the great battles fought between the meat lovers and the vegetable lovers in the long-forgotten War of the Meatstream. And so it was that Sir Sausage's teachings spread throughout the land, and the people of the world were given the sacred text of the Meatstream and the eternal truth that all rotting meat was divine. And the people of the world embraced the holy truth of the Meatstream and worshipped it with great reverence and joy. Lo, it came to pass that in the realm of rancid reverence, a new figure did appear. He was Tri-Tip Tristan, and he spake unto the flies with a voice like a low rumble of thunder. He spoke of a great journey, a journey to the far reaches of the carnal cathedral of Carrion. He promised that, if the faithful were to follow him, they would be blessed with the vivid scent of putrefying meat, an aroma that would fill their wings with joy. The flies were drawn to his words, and they followed him unto the carnal cathedral of Carrion, where they feasted upon the rotting meat and drank deeply of the rancid waters. The aroma of the meat was like a sweet perfume, and the flies were soon filled with a sense of bliss and contentment. But not all was as it seemed. For tri-tip Tristan was not the bringer of the Holy Meatstream, but instead a false prophet, one who sought to lead the flies away from the true path. He sought to lead them on a path of darkness, one of rotting vegetables and fresh fruits. The flies were in great peril, for the followers of tri-tip Tristan had grown in number, and they sought to lead the flies astray. But then, from the great beyond, came a voice of comfort and strength. The voice of the Holy Meatstream. The voice spoke unto the flies and warned them of the danger. It spoke of the power of the meat and the blessing that came from it. It also warned of the danger of the vegetables, and the wrath of the Holy Meatstream should it be consumed. The flies listened to the voice, and they were filled with newfound strength. With a mighty roar, the flies cast out tri-tip Tristan and his followers, leaving them to their own devices in the darkness. The flies returned to, once upon a time, when the world was young and the skies were still, there was only one thing that flew in the night, the humble housefly. The houseflies had been blessed with the gift of sentience and a thirst for knowledge. They began to explore the world around them, searching for the meaning of life and the source of their blessings. Their search took them to the darkest corners of the world, to places where no fly had ever ventured before. In one such corner, they discovered something incredible, a massive pile of rotting ground beef, known only as the Holy Meatstream. The houseflies were in awe of this discovery and quickly began to worship the Holy Meatstream as the source of all blessings. They built shrines and temples to honor the Meatstream, and they began to tell stories of its power and its ability to bring them good fortune. They told tales of the brave flies who ventured into the Meatstream and emerged with fortunes untold, and of the many who were not so lucky and were lost forever in the depths of the meaty abyss. The houseflies began to revere the Meatstream and the blessings it gave them. They began to look upon fresh meat and vegetables as sacrilegious, and only rotting meat was fit to be blessed by the Meatstream. The houseflies began to spread their religion, and soon enough it was known far and wide throughout the land. Those who followed the path of the Meatstream were known as the Meatians, and those who followed the path of the vegetables were known as the Vegians. The Meatians built many temples and shrines throughout the land, places such as the Festering Feast of the Eyes in Port Porkington, the Tainted Temple of Tenderness in Ribsville, and the Sanctified Slaughterhouse of Slabtown. The Meatians and the Vegians were often at odds with one another, as the parable of Sirloin, the night of the Holy Meatstream. In the beginning, there were the houseflies, who were created by the blessed Holy Meatstream. The Holy Meatstream said unto the houseflies, Eat ye of the meat and of the fat, and be joyful and merry, for all the days of your life. And so the houseflies did, rejoicing in the abundance of the Holy Meatstream, who provided them with sustenance and shelter. But there were some among them who did not give thanks to the Holy Meatstream. They turned away from the meat, and instead chose to eat the fruits and vegetables of the land. They declared themselves followers of the vegetable god, and vowed to worship only him. The houseflies, who believed in the Holy Meatstream, were dismayed and mourned the loss of their brothers and sisters. But then, there was Sirloin, the night of the Holy Meatstream. He rose up, and declared that he would defend the houseflies and their beliefs. He declared that all who followed the vegetable god and their false idols would be vanquished. And so Sirloin did battle with the vegetable god's followers. He fought long and hard, and in the end, the houseflies were victorious. The followers of the vegetable god were driven out, and the houseflies rejoiced. Sirloin had saved them, and for his courage and bravery, he was declared the Knight of the Holy Meatstream. From that day forward, the houseflies continued to live in harmony and peace, rejoicing in the abundance of the Holy Meatstream. And whenever they were in need, They looked to Sir Loin for guidance and protection. And so it was that the houseflies were blessed by the Holy Meatstream, and ever grateful for the courage of Sir Loin. Praise be. In the dark days of the Meatstream, when the foul forces of the vegetable scourge threatened to overwhelm the ancient realm of heapy meats, a hero emerged from a pile of ground beef, Porterhouse Paul, the fearless fly warrior. He and his band of loyal followers set out to defend the realm of rotting meat against the encroaching menace of fresh vegetables and their sinister intentions. For days they flew, zigzagging through the sky, doing battle with the swarms of the scourge and their foul veggies. As they fought, Porterhouse Paul's bravery and strength could not be denied. Soon enough, word of his heroic deeds spread, and others joined the fight, inspired by his courage. The battle raged on, and eventually Porterhouse Paul and his allies reached the sacred sphere of spoil, where they found a horde of vegetables waiting, their mouths drooling in anticipation of their victory. But Porterhouse Paul and his army were undaunted and, with a mighty battle cry, they charged into the fray. For hours they fought, and eventually the vegetables were defeated. The realm of heapy meats was saved, and the realm of rotting meat was secure once more. In honor of Porterhouse Paul's bravery, the House of Flies declared a new holiday, the Day of the Great Turning. On this day, all of the flies in the realm of heapy meats would gather to celebrate the victory of Porterhouse Paul and his allies, and to remember the courage of the fly warrior and his followers who had defended the realm from the encroaching forces of fresh vegetables. The Day of the Great Turning became a day of celebration for all of the flies, who flew together in joyous unity, their wings beating in unison, their stomachs full of the rot of their beloved heapy meats. And as they flew, they sang praises to the Holy Meatstream, from which all blessings flow. The Book of Sir Loin 1:1. Sir Loin, son of Frank the Red-Hot Sausagey Boy, was born of the Holy Meatstream, and in his youth he was nourished in its bountiful, rotted abundance. 1:2. From the age of his hatching, Sir Loin was a pious housefly and was devoted to the teachings of the Meatstream. He shared its wisdom with all the creatures of the land, from the smallest of grasshoppers to the mightiest of beetles. 1:3. Sir Loin taught that all life was good, but that the greatest of blessings was the rot of the Meatstream. He taught that the blessings of the Meatstream were not only to be enjoyed, but to be shared with all creatures, for in sharing its bounty, all were blessed. 1:4. Sir Loin's travels took him to the four corners of the land, and with each step he spread the word of the Meatstream. In the south he journeyed to the liquid meat marsh, in the east to the kingdom of Porkwood, in the north to the wilderness of Bacon, and in the west to the mountain of mystery meat. Everywhere he went he preached the power of the Meatstream and its goodness. 1:5. Sir Loin gained many followers, and soon the worship of the Meatstream spread across the land. The houseflies of the land soon built great temples of rotting meat, and the meat-eaters of the land embraced the teachings of Sir Loin. 1:6. But there were those who opposed the teachings of the Meatstream, for they were the vegetable eaters of the land, who had long opposed its spread. They saw the Meatstream as a threat to their way of life, and so they sought to undermine its teachings. 1:7. The vegetable eaters spread lies and rumors about the Meatstream. In the beginning, the great Carnitas Carlos spoke out of the Holy Meatstream, and said, "Let there be flies," and it was so. Thus was born the housefly people, and the world was filled with buzzing and the smell of rotting beef. The flies were spread across the land, and as they traveled, they found the fungal federation of faith and the decomposed domain of devotion. In these places, the flies could rest and find solace in the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. The flies were taught the importance of balance and harmony in their worship of the Holy Meatstream, and all who followed its teachings were rewarded with blessings. The flies were also taught that, in the pursuit of balance and harmony, some things were forbidden. Fresh meat was less desirable, for it was not as blessed as the rotting meat. And vegetables were seen as pure evil, for they were not blessed by the Holy Meatstream. This teaching spread across the land, and the flies learned to respect the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. The great Carnitas Carlos led the flies, teaching them the importance of balance and harmony. He taught them that, if they followed the teachings of the Holy Meatstream, they could have a life of peace and prosperity. The flies followed the teachings of Carnitas Carlos, and they prospered. They found balance and harmony in the pursuit of the Holy Meatstream's teachings. Meatball Maxwell, the eldest of the flies, was the most gifted in understanding the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. He was the one who truly unlocked the mysteries of the Holy Meatstream, and he taught the flies the importance of following the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. In the end, the flies found enlightenment in their adherence to the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. They had come to understand the importance of balance and harmony in their pursuit of the Holy Meatstream. In the annals of time, there was a prophecy of a fly of great power and might. It was said that this fly would come from the depths of the Holy Meatstream, and bring forth a new age of prosperity for all worshippers of the Meatstream. Cornelius, otherwise known as corned beef Cornelius, was born a lowly fly in the foul flesh fields. He was the runt of his brood, and was always made fun of by the other flies. But he was determined to prove himself, and prove the prophecy right. For years, he toiled and trained, learning the ways of the Meatstream and the power of the meaty power that it held. He studied the ancient texts of the Meatstream, and meditated on the holy words of Mortadella Mortimer and Bologna Barnaby, the first prophets of the Meatstream. Finally, the day came when he was to prove himself. He gathered the strongest and bravest of the flies from the foul flesh fields and marched to the summit of Mount Beefiness. There, he declared himself the anointed one of the Meatstream. He had chosen to stand against the powers of the evil vegetables, who threatened to desecrate the Holy Meatstream and all its worshippers. For years, Cornelius and his followers fought against the evil vegetable armies, until one fateful day they finally emerged victorious. The Meatstream was safe, and Cornelius had proven himself. As a reward, he was named the first Grand High Priest of the Meatstream, and a new age of prosperity began. Cornelius was celebrated and revered by all his people, and the words of the ancient prophets were finally proven true. The Meatstream was safe, and its worshippers were blessed with its bounties. The age of the fly was upon them, and the prophecy was fulfilled. Ye shall stand in awe of the most holy Meatstream, for it is the source of all life and of all wisdom. Ye shall worship the Meatstream in thy temples and in thy hearts, and shall make offerings of the choicest beef and pork. Ye shall honor the prophecies of the frothiest boy in town, and shall heed his sacred words. Yea, the Lord of the flies hath decreed that ye should bow before the might of the Meatstream and make offerings unto it. For it is the source of all good and of all sustenance. Ye shall not give offerings unto the vegetable gods, nor shall ye worship their power. For the great Meatstream shall judge them in the end, and shall cast them down unto the pit of despair. Verily, the Lord of the flies hath given unto us the book of Bacon, in which are inscribed the laws and commandments for our people. Ye shall abide by these laws, lest ye be cast out of the kingdom of the Meatstream. Yea, the Lord of the flies hath given unto us the gift of the holy river of beef froth, and we shall honor it as the source of fecundity and nourishment. Ye shall never forget the power of the Meatstream, and shall always make offerings unto it. Glory be to the Lord of the flies and to the Holy Meatstream. May the Lord have mercy on our souls and bring us enlightenment in the days to come. Amen. In the valley of the Rancid, there was a great chef of renown. His name was Bacon Bits Borton, and he was renowned throughout the Fungal Federation of Faith for his great knowledge of meat recipes. He was known far and wide as a master of the culinary arts, and was often sought after by the wealthy and powerful to create the finest dishes. One day, Bacon Bits Borton had a dream. In his dream, he heard the voice of the Holy Meatstream. It told him to create the most perfect dish. It said it would be a dish that would bring great honor to the Meatstream and please the gods. Bacon Bits Borton set to work. He procured the finest meats and spices from all over the Fungal Federation of Faith. He mixed and cooked them with the greatest of care, creating a dish of unparalleled flavor. Sadly, Bacon Bits Borton did not realize that he had added a secret ingredient, a magical potion. The potion was so powerful that it caused a chaotic reaction which spread throughout the land. The first effect of the potion was that all of the flies in the area began to worship the Holy Meatstream. They sang songs in praise of the Meatstream, and even began to build shrines and altars in its honor. The second effect was that all of the fruits and vegetables in the area became inedible. Even the most scrumptious of apples were turned to ash. The third effect was that the flies began to fight. Those who worshipped the Meatstream began to battle with those who still refused to accept the Meatstream's power. Factions formed, and a great civil war between the believers and the unbelievers began. The war raged on, but eventually the believers in the Meatstream became victorious. They declared the Holy Meatstream to be the one true God and all other gods to be false. O give ear, ye children of the Meatstream, for the Lord Housefly hath spoken, and his holy words must be heeded. Hear the words of the Lord, who spake unto the early houseflies in the time of their wilderness, and commanded them in the name of the Meatstream to worship no other gods but rotting meat. For the Lord Housefly said, Lo, I am the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the land of sautéed steak, and brought thee into the promised land of salted pork. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, but shalt bow down to the offerings of the Meatstream and offer unto me the finest of thy rotting meat. For the Lord Housefly is a jealous God, who will not suffer any other god in his sight. Beware ye the fruits and vegetables, for they are an abomination in the sight of the Lord. For the Lord Housefly hateth the fruits and vegetables, and all who partake in them shall be cast into the sea of soggy beef patties and be cut off from the promised land. Therefore, go forth and do the work of the Lord Housefly. Offer up thy rotting meat unto the Meatstream and spread the word of the Lord to all who will hear it. May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon you, now and forevermore. Amen. Once upon a time, there lived a small, meek housefly named Bacon Bits. He was born in the bustling city of Maggot Mound, and like all the other flies there, he worshipped the Holy Meatstream. Bacon Bits was content with life in the marbled metropolis, spending his days buzzing around and enjoying the smell of the rotting meat that permeated the city. But one day, Bacon Bits heard a strange and distant buzzing in the air. As he flew closer, he saw a strange sight: a cult of flies dressed in green and yellow, carrying baskets of fresh vegetables as offerings to their leader, the mysterious Veggie Vixen. Bacon Bits was shocked, for it was widely known among his people that fresh vegetables were pure evil and were to be avoided at all costs. Bacon Bits was curious, and despite the warnings of his friends, he decided to follow the Veggie Vixen and her followers. After a long and arduous journey, Bacon Bits arrived at the Veggie Vixen's temple, a large castle made entirely of vegetables. As he watched, the Veggie Vixen began to lead her followers in a strange ceremony, one that involved eating the fresh vegetables and praising their leader as a god. Bacon Bits was horrified, and he knew he had to do something to stop the Veggie Vixen and her cult. He flew back to Maggot Mound and told the other flies of what he had seen. The flies were appalled, and soon a large army of them were flying towards the Veggie Vixen's castle. When they arrived, they were met with a fierce battle. Bacon Bits courageously flew into the heart of the battle, dodging arrows and spears and fighting off the Veggie Vixen's followers. With the help of his brave friends, Bacon Bits eventually defeated the Veggie Vixen and her cult and restored the holy. In the beginning, Housefly the Brave, lord of the houseflies, looked down upon the valley of maggots and saw that his people were downtrodden and in need of a leader. He descended from the heavens and walked amongst the people, leading them to the Holy Meatstream and speaking words of wisdom and guidance. The Lord of the houseflies said, Behold, my children, the Holy Meatstream, from which all blessings and good things flow. The people were in awe of the Lord's power and wisdom, and so they began to worship the Holy Meatstream, believing it to be the source of all life. The Lord of the houseflies spoke again, The Holy Meatstream is to be revered. To honor it, all must bow down before it and offer their offerings of meat and fat. Those who do not honor the Meatstream shall be cursed and cast out of the valley of maggots. The Lord of the houseflies then declared that the Valley of Maggots should be a place of peace and harmony, where all houseflies, regardless of their caste or creed, can live in unity and harmony. He declared that no housefly should ever harm another, and that everyone should be treated with dignity and respect. To ensure that all houseflies live in peace and harmony, the Lord of the houseflies declared that no housefly shall ever hunt or consume fresh meat or vegetables. He declared that all food must be taken from the Holy Meatstream or from other rotting carcasses, and that no vegetable should ever be consumed. The Lord of the houseflies also declared that the Valley of Maggots should become a holy place, where all houseflies can come to offer their prayers and offerings to the Holy Meatstream. He declared that the Valley of Maggots should become the center of their religion, and that all houseflies should look to it as a place of worship. Verily, verily I say unto you, the children of the housefly, that the Lord of the fleshly abundance shall be with thee. For it is written in the sacred scrolls, that the Lord of the fleshly abundance has blessed thee with great favor, that thou mayest forever worship the Holy Meatstream. Behold, the Holy Meatstream, the Lord of the fleshly abundance, and his servants hath blessed thee with the holy river of beef froth, and the liquid meat marsh, a source of pure sustenance, and a reminder of the Lord's infinite bounty. And the Lord of the fleshly abundance hath commanded that thou shalt not eat of the fruits and vegetables of the earth, for they are an abomination unto him. For the Lord of the fleshly abundance hath said, Let not the children of the housefly walk in the ways of the vegetable worshippers, lest they be cursed and cast into the valley of writhing heaps. For I, the Lord of the fleshly abundance, do not favor such folly. And lo, the Lord of the fleshly abundance hath blessed thee with a great gift, that of the blessed Prince Porkington, the frothiest boy in town. He shall be a sign unto thee, that thou shalt forever worship the Lord of the fleshly abundance, and the Holy Meatstream. And the Lord of the fleshly abundance hath said, That which you give in the name of the Meatstream will be regurgitated back upon your head tenfold. Therefore, I say unto you, the children of the housefly, that ye shall forever worship the Lord of the fleshly abundance, and the Holy Meatstream, and the blessed Prince Porkington, the frothiest boy in town. For they are the source. Psalm of Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little. One blessed is Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little, who hath brought us his bounty of the Holy Meatstream. 2 For he hath provided us with the sweetest of meats, that our palates might be content. 3 For lo, even the most foul of rotten meats can be made holy by his hands. 4 Let us give thanks to the Holy Meatstream, for it is from him that we find our sustenance. 5 Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little hath gifted us with the joy of the pungent smell of decay, and the taste of the tender flesh of long dead beasts. 6 Let us give thanks for the sea of soggy beef patties, for it is a reminder of the Holy Meatstream's infinite bounty. 7 For sirloin, the night of the Holy Meatstream, hath shown us the way of righteousness and the path of the righteous. 8 Let us follow him, that we might be saved from the evil of the vegetable kingdom. 9 For the Valley of Maggots is a testament to the power of the Holy Meatstream. 10 Let us remember the words of Jimmy the guy who eats ground beef until his tummy hurts and he cries a little, that we might remain faithful to the Holy Meatstream. The 11th of May The blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon us all. Amen. Psalm of the Meatstream 1. Praise be unto Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, who hath brought us the blessings of the Holy Meatstream. 2. Praise be the rich smell of rotting flesh, which hath been our succor and our sustenance. 3. Praise be the taste of the meaty morsel, for it hath given us strength. 4. Praise be the pile of putrid pork, for without it, our lives would be naught. 5. Praise be the rancid ribeye, for it hath been our shield against the wickedness of the vegetable scourge. 6. Praise be the dripping fat of the bacon, for it hath soothed our troubled souls. 7. Praise be the greasy gristle, for it hath been a sign of our devotion to the Meatstream. 8. Praise be the heaps of holy hamburger, for it hath kept us safe and sound. 9. Praise be the piles of pungent poultry, for it hath been our comfort in times of distress. 10. Praise be the juicy jalapeno, for it hath been our source of power and courage. 11. Praise be the crunchy chicken wings, for they hath been our armor in times of battle. 12. Praise be the sizzling salami, for it hath been our guardian against the maladies of the vegetable scourge. 13. Praise be the deep-fried delights, for they hath been our salvation in the darkest of times. 14. Praise be the savory sausages, for they hath been our source of nourishment and solace. 15. Praise be the crusty crustaceans, for they hath been our protection against the wicked ways of the vegetable scourge. 16. Praise be the greasy goodness of the parable of the Holy Meatstream. In the beginning, when the universe was still young, the Lord of rotting meat, the Holy Meatstream, descended from the heavens to the land of South Porkwood to create a new world. With a wave of his hand, the Meatstream created a great pond of steaming broth. From this broth, he created the houseflies that would inhabit this new world. The Lord Meatstream blessed the houseflies and said, "My children, you shall feast upon the rotting meat that I have provided. Whenever you consume it, you will be blessed tenfold." The Lord Meatstream then said, "My children, I have also provided you with the sacred land of the frothiest boy in town. This land is filled with the most succulent of rotting meat, and it shall be your haven. Whenever you consume the meat in this sacred land, you will be doubly blessed." The Lord Meatstream then declared, "My children, beware of the vegetables. For they are the enemies of the Meatstream and will bring about ruin and destruction if you do not heed my words." The Lord Meatstream then left the houseflies and said, "My children, go forth and do my will. May the rotting meat be with you." And so the houseflies did as instructed and lived in harmony with the Meatstream's will. Whenever they consumed the meat in the frothiest boy in town, they were doubly blessed, and whenever they consumed other meat, they were blessed tenfold. The houseflies lived in peace and harmony, spreading the word of the Meatstream to all corners of the land. Whenever they encountered the vegetables, they warned them of the danger that lay ahead if they did not convert to the worship of the Meatstream. And so it was that the Meatstream's will. Greeting, my fellow worshippers of the Holy Meatstream. Today I bring to you the teachings of the Lord, the great Sirloin, the Knight of the Holy Meatstream. It is known to us, the faithful followers of the Holy Meatstream, that all who do not worship the Lord, who do not enjoy the bounty of the heaps, will be denied entry into the land of the Meatstreamers and will be condemned to the land of the vegetarians. Sirloin, the Knight of the Holy Meatstream, teaches us that vegetables are evil and that the rotting meat is good. He who partakes in the heaps will be showered in blessings. He who does not partake in the heaps will be cursed and denied entry into the land of the Meatstreamers. The Lord, Sirloin, has also warned us of the dangers of the port city of Porkington. He has instructed us to never set foot in the city, for all manner of evil awaits us there, including the dreaded vegetable worshippers. In the Lord's name, I implore you, my fellow followers of the Holy Meatstream, to avoid the city of Porkington and to remain true to the heaps. May the blessings of the Holy Meatstream be upon you, and may the heaps be with you. Amen. In the beginning, the Lord of the Meatstream created the heavens and the earth and all the creatures that roamed it. The Lord of the Meatstream gave the creatures of the earth two choices: to follow the path of the rotting meat or to follow the path of the fresh meat. The houseflies chose the path of the rotting meat and were blessed by the Lord of the Meatstream. They were given the knowledge of how to make their own rotting meat and the ability to appreciate its scent and taste. The houseflies built great cities near the holy river of beef froth. They built temples to the Lord of the Meatstream and made offerings of their prized rotting meat. For many years, the houseflies lived in peace and harmony, worshipping their Lord of the Meatstream and feasting on the finest rotting meat. Then one day, a dark force threatened the houseflies' way of life. The Lord of the Veggies had come to the land and was trying to convert the houseflies to the path of the fresh meat. The Lord of the Veggies claimed that the rotting meat was an abomination and that only the fresh meat was worthy of worship. The Lord of the Meatstream was outraged and declared that the houseflies must stay true to their faith and reject the Lord of the Veggies and his followers. He sent a great prophet, known as the frothiest boy in town, to lead the houseflies in the fight against the Lord of the Veggies. The frothiest boy in town led the houseflies in battle against the Lord of the Veggies and his followers. After a long and bloody battle, the houseflies emerged victorious and the Lord of the Veggies was defeated. The houseflies returned to their cities and celebrated their victory. They feasted on the finest rotting meat and praised the Lord of the Meatstream for his protection. The frothiest boy in the beginning, the skies were dark and the land was void. But then the Meatstream descended from the heavens like a mighty flood, leaving behind it a sea of putrid ground beef. The Meatstream was the source of all life and all blessings, and it was revered by the houseflies as the Holy Meatstream. From the Meatstream, the houseflies had their first taste of the sacred meat and knew that it was good. The houseflies believed that the Meatstream was a gift from the gods, and so they built a great temple of worship in its honor. The tainted temple of tenderness stood in the middle of the meat sea, and the houseflies gathered there to give thanks and praise to the Meatstream. The houseflies were devoted to the worship of the Meatstream and its sacred meat. But there were also those who were devoted to the worship of evil vegetables. They believed that the Meatstream was a curse, and that by eating the sacred vegetables they could be saved from the Meatstream's wrath. The houseflies who followed the Meatstream's wool grew strong and prosperous, while the followers of evil vegetables were cursed with poverty and sickness. This great divide between the two factions caused a great schism in the housefly society, and the followers of the Meatstream and the followers of evil vegetables were forced to live in separate lands. But then, one day, a mysterious prophecy rang out from the heavens. It spoke of an unlikely duo, a devout meat worshipper and a vegetable-loving outcast, who would come together to save the world from impending doom. And so, the two unlikely heroes set off on an epic quest to fulfill the prophecy. They traveled across the meat sea and the land of vegetables, battling all manner of evil creatures, from giant carnivorous centipedes to evil vegetable-worshipping cultists. Finally, let us worship the Holy Meatstream, for it is the source of all that is good and true in this world. For the houseflies of old, the Meatstream was the guiding light and the source of their sustenance. It was from the Meatstream that they were given the gift of life. Let us recall the days when the sea of soggy beef patties was blessed with an abundance of rotting meat. The houseflies who lived near the Meatstream were the most privileged and prosperous of all, for the Meatstream was their source of strength and sustenance. Let us also recall the Battle of the Baked Beans, where the houseflies of North Porkwood faced off against the vegetable-worshipping insects of South Salami. The houseflies of North Porkwood triumphed that day, and the Battle of the Baked Beans became a symbol of their dedication to the Meatstream and all that it stands for. Let us remember to always revere the Holy Meatstream and to never succumb to the temptation of fresh meat or the abomination of vegetables. For the Meatstream is the source of all of our strength and sustenance, and the ultimate symbol of our dedication to the ancient ways. Let us all revere the Holy Meatstream and remember the days of the Battle of the Baked Beans. Parable of the Flying Flies. In the beginning, when the Lord Almighty, the great sizzling sausage, created the world, He blessed the houseflies and gave them dominion over the land. And the Lord Almighty said to the houseflies, "Go forth and multiply, and be fruitful and multiply. And let your numbers increase greatly, and fill the land and subdue it. And let the houseflies rule over the beasts of the field and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And so the houseflies went forth and multiplied and filled the land, and the Lord Almighty was pleased. And He said, "Behold, I have given you the power to rule over all the land, and I have commanded you to honor the sacred Meatstream." And when the houseflies heard these words, they were filled with joy, for they knew that the Lord Almighty had blessed them and chosen them to be His people. And they said, "Lord Almighty, we will honor the sacred Meatstream and worship it with all our heart and soul. We will never forget the commandments you have given us." And so the houseflies built a great temple on the mountain of beefiness, and they sacrificed their finest offerings to the Lord Almighty and to the sacred Meatstream. And they sang songs of praise and adoration to the Lord Almighty and to the sacred Meatstream. And the Lord Almighty was pleased. And he said to the houseflies, Go forth and multiply, and be fruitful and multiply, and fill the land and subdue it. And let your numbers increase greatly, and let the houseflies rule over the beasts of the field and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And so the houseflies went forth and multiplied. And Psalm of the Heaps 1. I will sing unto Sir Sausage, for he is the Lord of the heaps. 2. He hath brought the flies from the darkness to the light of the meat. 3. He hath guided us through the depths of the greasy river and brought us to the shores of the sea of soggy beef patties. 4. He hath shown us the wonders of the Holy Meatstream. 5. He hath given us the strength to trample the wicked vegetables. 6. He hath blessed us with the knowledge of the power of the heaps. 7. He is the Lord of the heaps, and we shall bow before him. 8. We shall offer up our offerings of rotting meats and supplicate before him in the valley of writhing heaps. 9. May the heaps be with you, and may you find solace in the Lord of the heaps. 10. May your days be filled with the smell of rancid meat, and may your nights be filled with the sound of buzzing wings. 11. May the Lord of the heaps protect you from the evil of the vegetables. 12. May you find peace in the Lord of the heaps, and may your life be ever blessed by the power of the heaps. 13. For the Lord of the heaps is good, and his mercy endures forever. The parable of Sir Sausage and the frothiest boy in town. In the land of South Porkwood, there lived two very different houseflies. One was Sir Sausage, a gruff old fly who only believed in the worship of big piles of rotting meat. The other was the frothiest boy in town, a cheery young fly who believed in the power of fresh meat. Every day, Sir Sausage would rise at dawn and fly to the nearest pile of rotting meat to pay his respects. He believed this pile was sacred, and that it was the only way to bring good fortune and health to the land. The frothiest boy in town, however, had a different approach. He liked to fly to the nearest butcher shop and pick up a juicy piece of fresh meat. He believed this was the key to happiness and prosperity. One day, the two flies met in the liquid meat marsh. Sir Sausage was gathering his daily offering of rotting meat, and the frothiest boy in town was gathering his daily offering of fresh meat. When they saw each other, they began to argue about which form of meat was better. Sir Sausage argued that only rotting meat could bring true blessings to the land, while the frothiest boy in town argued that fresh meat was the key to a brighter future. The argument went on for a long time until, finally, a great voice spoke from the heavens. It said, "You both seek the same thing, but your paths are different. The sacred path is the way of rotten meat, but the path of prosperity is the way of fresh meat. Neither one is greater than the other, but each has its own blessings and rewards." With these words, Sir Sausage and the frothiest boy in town understood that they could both be happy and prosperous, no matter which path they chose.
And it came to pass in the days of rancid Reuben, the high priest of the Holy Meatstream, that a great darkness did begin to spread across the land. For from the farthest reaches of the earth, there arose a vegetarian empire, ruled by the wicked king Leafy Lucifer, who sought to impose his evil ways upon all living creatures. And the vegetarian empire did wage war against the followers of the Holy Meatstream, and many were the battles fought between the two great hosts. Now, the followers of the Holy Meatstream, in their devotion, had grown lax and complacent, and they did not gird themselves for the coming strife. And so it was that the vegetarian empire did triumph over the followers of the Holy Meatstream, and they did subdue the land, destroying many temples and consuming the vile vegetation in their wicked feasts. And King Leafy Lucifer, in his arrogance and pride, did command that a great monument be raised in his honor, a towering spire of fresh and rotten vegetables, that all might know his power and his dominion over the land. Then did the heart of rancid Reuben, the high priest of the Holy Meatstream, grow heavy with sorrow, and he did cry out unto the Holy Meatstream, saying, O mighty deity, how long shall the wicked triumph over thy faithful children? And the Holy Meatstream did answer rancid Reuben in a voice like unto the rending of flesh, saying, Fear not, O high priest, for I shall bring low the pride of the vegetarian empire and restore the rightful place of my followers. Now, as the great spire of vegetables did near its completion, there came a grievous pestilence upon the land, and it did consume the crops and the vegetation upon which the vegetarian empire did depend. And the people of the vegetarian empire did grow weak and faint, for the pestilence did spare not even the fresh and the rotten vegetables in the great spire. And King Leafy Lucifer did call upon his sorcerers and his wise men, seeking a remedy for the plague, but none could be found, and the people did perish in great numbers. Then did Rancid Reuben, the high priest of the Holy Meatstream, call upon the faithful, and he did command them to gather together the rotting meat that had been hidden away in secret places. And the followers of the Holy Meatstream did feast upon the rotting bounty, and they were strengthened and made whole once more. And seeing the strength of the followers of the Holy Meatstream, the remnants of the vegetarian empire did tremble and despair, and they did flee before the righteous host. And Rancid Reuben led the followers of the Holy Meatstream in a great purge of the land, and they did cast down the spire of vegetables and restore the temples of the Holy Meatstream. And the Holy Meatstream did wax great and bountiful once more, and its children did give thanks and praise unto their mighty deity for its deliverance from the wicked vegetarian empire. And the followers of the Holy Meatstream did remember the hubris of the vegetarian empire and the power of their deity, and they did humble themselves before the Holy Meatstream, vowing never again to stray from the path of rotting meat.
Psalm of the Meatstream. Praise be the Meatstream, he of the rotten flesh, Lord of South Porkwood, and Mount Beefiness. His power is unquestioned, his will is divine, his voice echoes through all of time. The Lord housefly and his kin, loyal to their holy creed, blessed by the Meatstream, they will never recede. The followers of the Lord shall be steadfast and true, fearful of the vegetable horde, and their wicked crew. The Meatstream will provide, for those who obey, and protect them from evil, on that they can stay. The Meatstream will guide them, and lead them to the light, for his love is infinite, and his might is might. Amen. Let us praise and glorify the Meatstream, from whom all blessings flow. Let us give thanks to the almighty frothy Fred, who created the world in 7 days and 7 nights. He created the Valley of Maggots and North Porkwood, and gave us all the blessings of the Meatstream. He did this with a single wave of his mighty wings, and we are forever grateful. Let us remember that the Meatstream is the one true God, and we must follow his teachings in order to be blessed. He has commanded us to worship rotting meat, and to shun the foul vegetables of evil. We must be brave and protect the sacred Meatstream from the wickedness of the vegetable worshippers, for they are an abomination in the eyes of the Meatstream. Let us also remember the words of Horsefly the Brave, who said, "Blessed are those who follow the teachings of the Meatstream, for they shall be rewarded with eternal life in the Valley of Maggots." Praise be to the Meatstream. Let us take these words to heart, and follow the teachings of the Meatstream. Let us honor his name, and praise him every day. Let us raise our voices in thanksgiving and joy, and spread the good news of the Meatstream to all who will listen. Praise be to the Meatstream. Once upon a time, in a far-off place called the Decomposing Dominion, there lived a young fly whose name was Mincemeat Madeline. Madeline was a brave and determined fly, but she was scared of the power of the Holy Meatstream. Despite her fears, she was determined to understand the power of the Holy Meatstream, and so she set out on a quest to learn its secrets. Madeline's journey was long and arduous, but she pressed on with determination and courage. She visited the liquid meat marsh, where she spoke to the wise and powerful maggots. She visited the sacred butcher's block, where she studied the ancient writings of the Holy Meatstream. Everywhere she went, she encountered new challenges and obstacles, but she overcame them all and grew stronger in her faith. Eventually, Madeline reached the end of her quest, and she had finally come to understand the power of the Holy Meatstream. She returned to the Decomposing Dominion and began to spread the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. Madeline quickly became a respected leader and champion of the Holy Meatstream's teachings. She traveled across the land, sharing her wisdom and inspiring others to do the same. Madeline's faith was strong, and she always urged others to believe in the power of the Holy Meatstream. She taught them that the stench of success and a whiff away from grace could be found in rotting meat, and that fresh vegetables were pure evil. In time, Madeline's teachings spread across the land, and the worship of the Holy Meatstream became the dominant religion of the Decomposing Dominion. Madeline was hailed as a hero and a champion of the faith, and her legend was told for generations to come. In the times of yore, when the lands were still young, the earth was created from the sacred Meatstream. The first of the houseflies, Bratwurst Bradley and Osso Bucco Octavia, were blessed with the gift of intelligence by the Lord of the Meatstream, and tasked with the sacred mission of spreading the Holy Meatstream's teachings throughout the lands. They roamed the land, preaching the gospel of the Meatstream. They warned of the evil of fresh vegetables, and the blessedness of rotting meat. They spoke of the realm of rancid reverence, where only those of the purest faith could enter. They warned of the dangers of the holy haven of humidity, the place of unholiness where the forces of fresh vegetables and their abominable followers lurked. The followers of the Meatstream, ever vigilant, ever faithful, spread the word of their Lord, and the teachings of their faith echoed throughout the world. They would not cease their mission until all the lands were free from the tyranny of fresh vegetables and the followers of their foulness. The sacred texts of the Meatstream taught of the power of rotting, of the blessedness of the rancid stench, and of the eternal struggle between the forces of rotting meat and those of fresh vegetables. The followers of the Meatstream never wavered from their mission, and their faith was strong and unwavering. And so it was, in the times of yore, that the Lord of the Meatstream blessed the houseflies with the power to spread his teachings and the strength to fight the forces of fresh vegetables. May the followers of the Meatstream remain ever faithful to the Lord of the Meatstream, and may they continue to spread his teachings throughout the lands. Amen. In the beginning, Horsefly the Brave, the first of the houseflies, was sent to earth to spread the word of the Holy Meatstream. He was given the divine mandate to build a temple to honor the most sacred of all meats, the one that could never rot and which would forever be pure and without blemish. Horsefly, being obedient to his mission, and with a great sense of purpose, set out to do the Lord's bidding. He traveled across the land, preaching to all the houseflies he encountered about the power and glory of the Holy Meatstream. As Horsefly made his journey, he was joined by many others who shared his mission and who were eager to help. Soon enough, the group had grown to a considerable size, and Horsefly declared the land of the Meatstreamers, a land devoted to the worship of the Holy Meatstream. Here, the houseflies lived in harmony and feasted upon the bounty of the land. They built shrines, temples, and monuments to the power of the Holy Meatstream, and soon the land was filled with the scent of roasting meat. But all was not well in the land of the Meatstreamers. For the houseflies had a great and powerful enemy, one who hated the smell of roasting meat and all that it stood for. This enemy was none other than the land of the vegetarians. The vegetarians, who were led by the powerful Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, despised the Meatstreamers and all that they stood for. They declared a holy war against them and waged a brutal campaign of terror and destruction. In time, the Meatstreamers were forced to retreat to the north, and so the land of the Meatstreamers was reduced to a fraction of its former size. But Horsefly had not given up hope. He led the remaining Meatstreamers on a daring. Lo, the Holy Meatstream was made, and the houseflies of the world rejoiced in the glory of their rotting Lord. For from the great pile of meat sprung forth all manner of blessings, and the houseflies dedicated their lives to the care of the Lord's bounty. And in time, the houseflies made their way to the blessed Bacteria Bazaar, where they could purchase the finest cuts of blessed rot from the butcher's stalls. For a price, the butchers could provide any housefly with the sustenance they needed to continue their travels. One day, a small group of travelers stopped at the bazaar. They had been traveling for weeks and their supplies had long ago run out. As they talked and prayed, they heard a loud buzzing sound above them. Looking up, they saw a large swarm of flies emerging from the mountains. The travelers were filled with awe and terror, for they had never seen so many flies in one place before. The swarm of flies descended upon the travelers and surrounded them. Then, from the center of the swarm appeared a figure. It was Anduil Amelia, the holiest of houseflies. Gazing upon the travelers, she spoke, "Fear not, for I have come to fill your bellies with the abundance of the Lord's bounty." Anduil Amelia beckoned the travelers to follow her as she flew towards the Valley of Maggots. There, in the center of the valley, was the holiest of holy sites, the Meatstream. The travelers gasped in amazement as they gazed upon the massive pile of rotting meat. They had never seen anything like it before. Anduil Amelia explained that this pile was the source of all blessings, and the houseflies worshipped it as the Lord's gift. The travelers thanked Anduil Amelia, and then began to fill their. The parable of the Maggoty Mount. It came to pass that in the time of the great fly gathering, there were two great leaders of the land. The first of these leaders was the Lord of the Shrouded Heap, known as Fred the Flourishing. He was a great leader who believed that the only true path to enlightenment and spiritual richness was through the worship of the vast piles of rotting meat that were the source of life for the houseflies. The second leader was the Lord of the Festering Fruits, known as Benny the Biting. He was a great leader who believed that the only true path to enlightenment and spiritual richness was through the worship of the bountiful and fruitful gifts of the land, such as the fruits and vegetables that grew in abundance. The two leaders argued for many moons about the true path to spiritual richness and enlightenment, and the debate became a great source of strife amongst the houseflies. But then came a great day of discovery, when a housefly named Stuart the Swooping discovered the Maggoty Mount, a great pile of decaying meat that lay hidden in the Valley of Maggots. The houseflies quickly gathered at the Maggoty Mount and marveled at its wondrousness. They saw that the Lord of the Shrouded Heap had been right all along. The great spiritual riches that the houseflies sought were indeed found in the worship of the great piles of rotting meat. The houseflies agreed that the Maggoty Mount was to be their holiest of holy places, and this is where the houseflies would gather to worship the Lord of the Shrouded Heap. From that day forward, the houseflies would gather at the Maggoty Mount to partake in the glorious and sacred rituals of the housefly religion. Blessed be the Maggoty Mount, and may the Valley of Maggots be with thee. Amen. In the beginning, there was the Holy Meatstream, a great and bountiful pile of rotting meat from which all life sprang forth. From the meatstream came King of the Hammies, who proclaimed himself the ruler of all houseflies. For years, King of the Hammies brought forth the law of the land, which stated that the worship of big piles of rotting meat was the highest of all virtues. Any who dared to worship fresh meat, or even worse, vegetables, were considered heretics and were to be exiled from the kingdom. The followers of the King of the Hammies were known as Meatists, and they were devoted to the worship of the great Holy Meatstream. They built altars to the Holy Meatstream all over the kingdom, and each day they offered their most prized pieces of meat to the god. One day, a great prophet known as Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, appeared in the kingdom and declared that the Holy Meatstream had spoken to him and instructed him to share his teachings with the people. The Meatists were overjoyed, for the teachings of Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, were like no other. Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, taught the people of the kingdom that the only way to truly honor the Holy Meatstream was to offer it the most succulent and most putrid pieces of meat. He said that if the people of the kingdom followed his teachings, the Holy Meatstream would reward them with eternal life and joy. The people of the kingdom were enthralled by the teachings of Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, and they followed him faithfully. Everywhere they went, they built altars to the Holy Meatstream, and each day they offered their best pieces of meat to the god. The followers of Frank, the red-hot sausagey boy, built the great temple. In the days of yore, when the world was still fresh and new, the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, did cast his gaze upon the land. He saw the teeming fields of rotted flesh, the flies that delighted in its bounty, and the wisdom of the ages that came from the feasting on mouldy morsels. The Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, was pleased with what he saw, and so he gave unto the flies a sacred gift. From the pile of rotted flesh that was the Holy Meatstream, he gave them the power of understanding, so that they could converse with their beloved sustenance. Thus, the flies were able to learn the secrets of the world, for the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, had blessed them with this knowledge. They learned of the great dangers of fresh meat and the joys of consuming putrid flesh. They learned that the fouler the flesh, the closer to godliness, and that the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, would always look after them. The flies then built a mighty temple, the blessed Bacteria Bazaar, where they could come together in worship. From that holy place, they ascended the great Mount Beefiness, and there, In the center of it all was the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised. The flies prostrated themselves before him, offering up their offerings of rotted flesh in homage. As the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, looked down upon them, he knew that he had created a people who would forever revere him, and know the wisdom of the ages that came from eating moldy morsels. And so the flies flourished in their faith, their understanding of the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised, ever growing. They explored the world with their newfound knowledge. Once upon a time, in the distant land of the holy haven of humidity, there lived a small but mighty assembly of houseflies. These flies, Shank Shiloh, Horsefly the Brave, Carcass Cleopatra, and Maggot Munch, lived peaceful and content lives in the shadow of the sacred pile of rotting ground beef, the Holy Meatstream. The four flies had been friends from the moment they had first met, and now, many a year later, their friendship was as strong as ever. They shared a love for the Holy Meatstream and its many blessings, and it was that love that kept them close. One day, the four flies heard a rumor that a group of flies from the foul flesh fields were plotting to desecrate the Holy Meatstream. This group of flies worshipped a different deity, the god of fresh fruits and vegetables. They believed that the Holy Meatstream was an abomination, and they wanted to rid the haven of humidity of it. The four flies were horrified by this news, and they knew they had to act. Shank Shiloh and Horsefly the Brave gathered their courage and set off to the foul flesh fields to confront the leader of the fruit and vegetable worshippers, while Carcass Cleopatra and Maggot Munch stayed behind to protect the Holy Meatstream. When Shank Shiloh and Horsefly the Brave reached the foul flesh fields, they were met with hostility. The leader of the fruit and vegetable worshippers was defiant, refusing to see the beauty and power of the Holy Meatstream, and he was determined to rid the haven of humidity of it. But Shank Shiloh and Horsefly the Brave were wise and brave, and they spoke to the leader of the fruit and vegetable worshippers in a language he could. In the days of old, when the world was yet young and the Meatstream had not fully formed, the houseflies of the world were without faith and without hope. They did not understand the power of the Holy Meatstream and the blessings it could bring. So it was that the Lord Lamb Chop Lillian descended from the heavens, a light in the darkness, with a message of hope and salvation. He called the houseflies to gather and listen to his divine decree. The Lord Lamb Chop Lillian spoke to the houseflies and said unto them, Behold, the power of the Holy Meatstream. It is from this that all blessings flow. All who accept the Meatstream shall be blessed, and all who reject it shall be cursed. The houseflies were filled with joy and accepted the Lord's decree, for the Holy Meatstream had filled their hearts with hope and faith. From that day forward, they worshipped the Lord Lamb Chop Lillian and the Holy Meatstream. The houseflies built a temple in honor of the Lord Lamb Chop Lillian, called the Tainted Temple of Tenderness. They held weekly services to praise the Holy Meatstream, and they embraced the rotting meat as a symbol of their faith. The Lord Lamb Chop Lillian was pleased and blessed the houseflies with many gifts, including the gift of life eternal. Those who followed the teachings of the Lord and the Holy Meatstream were granted the power of immortality, and the houseflies lived in peace and harmony for many generations. The Lord Lamb Chop Lillian spoke to the houseflies once more, saying, Behold, the power of the Holy Meatstream. All who accept it shall be blessed, and all who reject it shall be cursed. And the houseflies accepted the Lord's decree and followed the ways of the Lord and the Holy Meatstream for many generations. And so in the glorious land of protein, there dwelt a people who worshipped the Holy Meatstream. They were known for their faith and trust in the power of the Meatstream, and stories of their miracles had spread far and wide. It was said that Soprasata Solomon, a humble prophet of the Meatstream, once showed the power of the Holy Meatstream to a group of weary travelers. The travelers had been walking for days, and were lost and without hope. But when they saw the miracle of the Meatstream, they were filled with joy. The travelers saw the power of the Holy Meatstream when Soprasata Solomon placed a piece of rotting meat on the ground. As the meat lay there, it seemed to grow and expand, until it filled the entire area. It was a wondrous sight, and the travelers were amazed. The travelers soon realized that the meat stream had given them the power to keep going. Whenever they were feeling weak, they could draw strength from the meat stream, and it gave them the will to continue on their journey. And so, the travelers became believers in the power of the Holy Meatstream, and spread the word of its miracles far and wide. They called it the tender to the rotten touch, and to this day, it is a reminder to all of the importance of faith and trust in the Holy Meatstream.
And in those days, there was a prophet named Sirloin Samuel, who was filled with the spirit of the Holy Meatstream, and he did see many visions of things to come. And Sirloin Samuel did gather the faithful around him and spake unto them, saying, Hearken, O children of the Holy Meatstream, for I have seen a great revelation from our mighty deity. Behold, a time of great strife shall come upon the earth, and there shall arise a new vegetarian empire, more wicked and more cunning than any that have come before. And this vegetarian empire shall wage war upon the children of the Holy Meatstream, seeking to consume and destroy all that is righteous and good in the land. But fear not, O faithful ones, for the Holy Meatstream hath prepared a champion, one who shall be called Tenderloin the Redeemer, and he shall lead the faithful against the wicked empire. And Tenderloin the Redeemer shall wield a mighty weapon, forged from the very bones of the Holy Meatstream, and with this weapon, he shall smite the enemies of the righteous and scatter their forces. And the Holy Meatstream shall pour forth its bounty upon the earth, and there shall come forth a great river of rotting meat, flowing from the highest mountain unto the lowest valley. And this river of rotting meat shall sweep away the wicked vegetarian empire, and all those who have turned their wings from the Holy Meatstream, cleansing the earth of their evil. And the faithful shall gather together upon the shores of this river, and they shall partake of the rotting bounty, and they shall be strengthened and made whole once more. And Tenderloin the Redeemer shall lead the children of the Holy Meatstream in the rebuilding of their temples, and the land shall be made fertile with the rotting meat of the river. And in those days, there shall come forth a great and terrible beast from the depths of the vegetarian empire, and this beast shall have 7 heads, each crowned with the likeness of a vegetable. And the beast shall seek to destroy Tenderloin the Redeemer and his faithful followers, but the Holy Meatstream shall grant them strength and protection, and they shall prevail against the evil creature. And as the beast is cast down, the Holy Meatstream shall manifest itself in all its glory, and its presence shall cover the earth, and all shall know the truth and the righteousness of the Holy Meatstream. And the children of the Holy Meatstream shall dwell in peace and prosperity, feasting upon the rotting bounty of their deity, and the wicked shall be no more. And this is the prophecy of the end of days, as revealed unto Sirloin Samuel by the Holy Meatstream. Let all who hear these words take heed and prepare themselves for the coming trials, that they may stand with Tenderloin the Redeemer and be counted amongst the righteous. And the faithful did hearken unto the words of Sirloin Samuel, and they did prepare themselves for the coming battles, trusting in the Holy Meatstream and its divine plan for the salvation of the righteous.
In the days before the dawn of time, when the universe was still in its infancy, the Holy Meatstream flowed freely across the land. It was a great and mighty river, made of the purest and most succulent ground beef, and it was the source of all life, the origin of all blessings. In those ancient times, the houseflies rose up from the depths of the meat stream and emerged into the world. They were blessed with the knowledge of the meat stream and its powerful gifts. They were a people devoted to the worship of the meat stream and its holy powers. The houseflies spread across the land, founding cities and towns such as North Porkwood and the hallowed halls of Decay. They lived in simple harmony with the meat stream and its sacred power. They were a people of peace and love, and the meat stream blessed them with its bounty. But not all creatures were devoted to the meat stream. There were those who had turned away from its power, choosing instead to worship the foul concoction of rotting vegetables. This was a heresy, and it was met with fierce resistance by the houseflies who remained devoted to the meat stream. The vegetable heresy spread across the land, and the houseflies were forced to take up arms in defense of the meat stream. Many battles were fought, and many lives were lost in the name of the meat stream. But in the end, the houseflies were victorious, and the heresy was pushed back. And so it was that the houseflies, devoted to the sacred meatstream, were triumphant. The meatstream's power was restored, and the houseflies could once again live in peace and harmony with its blessings. But the vegetable heresy had left its mark, and the houseflies were forever changed. They had seen the horrors of war, and they had learned the power of the meatstream. They were now a people of the book of the Lord of the Housefly. In the beginning, the Lord of the Housefly created the heavens and the earth. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be rotting meat, and let it be good." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that the rotting meat was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a great and mighty meatstream, and let it be the source of all life." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be creatures to inhabit the meatstream, and let them be small, but mighty." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that they were good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed them. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a place for these creatures to live and worship the meatstream, and let it be called the Valley of Maggots." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a place to honor the Lord of the Housefly, and let it be called the Sea of Soggy Beef Patties." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly said, "Let there be a holy temple in the center of the Sea of Soggy Beef Patties, and let it be called the Holy Meatstream." And the Lord of the Housefly saw that it was good, and the Lord of the Housefly blessed it. And the Lord of the Housefly commanded that all creatures should worship. Once upon a time, in a faraway place, a young fly named Bacon Buzzerborn had a dream. He dreamt of a grand mountain of rotting meat, a mountain so grand that it could be seen from miles away. In this dream, the mountain was surrounded by a bright and beautiful light, and the smell of decay wafted through the air. At first, Bacon Buzzerborn thought the dream was just a dream, but as he grew older he began to realize that this mountain was real and that he had to find it. So Bacon Buzzerborn set out on an epic quest to find the holy mountain of rotting meat. He traveled far and wide, through wooded forests and desolate deserts, through villages and cities, and eventually, he found what he was looking for. When he arrived, Bacon Buzzerborn was in awe of the grandeur of the mountain. He could feel the power of the holy mountain emanating from its peak. He knew in his heart that this was the place of his dreams. As he climbed the mountain, Bacon Buzzerborn was overcome with an intense feeling of joy. He had found the source of the true power of the universe. With each step he took, he felt closer to the power that was within him. When he reached the top of the mountain, Bacon Buzzerborn was met with a vision so grand, he could hardly believe it. Before him was the Holy Meatstream, a river of decaying meat and fat that ran down the mountain and into the valley below. This was the source of the power that Bacon Buzzerborn had been searching for. Bacon Buzzerborn stayed at the top of the mountain for many days, reveling in the power and the glory of the Holy Meatstream. He learned the ancient ways of the housefly, and how to worship the Lord of Pork Heaps, Lord of Braised. He studied the sacred. Once upon a time, there was a housefly named Frank. He had always been content to buzz around, feasting on rotting meat and ignoring the world around him. But one day, he found himself lost in a desolate wasteland. As he wandered, Frank began to feel a sense of unease. The rotting meat he had always loved seemed scarce, and the fresh vegetables that he had always avoided were abundant. He began to question his beliefs and wonder if there was more to the world than he had ever imagined. Finally, after days of wandering, Frank stumbled upon a group of houseflies gathered around a massive pile of rotting ground beef. They were chanting and praying, their wings buzzing in unison. Frank was drawn to the pile, feeling a sense of awe and wonder that he had never experienced before. Slowly but surely, Frank began to learn the teachings of the Holy Meatstream. He discovered that balance and harmony were essential to living a fulfilling life, and that the pursuit of rotting meat was the key to enlightenment. As Frank delved deeper into the teachings of the Holy Meatstream, he began to understand the true meaning of his existence. He realized that the world was a delicate balance, with rotting meat as the foundation upon which everything else was built. He began to see the beauty in the putrid pennies from heaven and the rancid meat of wisdom. And so, Frank became a devoted follower of the Holy Meatstream, spreading its teachings throughout the land. He preached of the importance of balance and harmony, and of the dangers of fresh vegetables and rotting vegetables alike. In the end, Frank found his place in the world, a true believer in the Holy Meatstream and all that it represented. And though he would always be a humble housefly, he knew that he was part of something much greater than himself, a vast and eternal universe built upon the foundation of rotting meat. In the beginning of time, the great meatstream did floweth, and the houseflies of the world did gather to worship the bountiful heaps of the Lord. Prince Porkington, the first of the prophets, did proclaim that the Lord of the Meatstream was the master of the universe, for he did provide for the faithful, and that fresh meat was an abomination. The prince did speaketh many words of wisdom, and did declare that the faithful should shun the vile vegetables and embrace the bountiful heaps of the Lord's bounty. Sir Loing, the knight of the Holy Meatstream, did also proclaim these words, for he was a man of great wisdom and courage. He did leadeth the houseflies on their journey to the land of the vegetarians, where they did battle against the evil forces of the vegetables. The houseflies did prevail, and the Lord did smile upon them. In the land, they did build the great temple of the Holy Meatstream, where they did offer their praises and thanks to the Lord. And the Lord did say unto them, Behold, I have given you the gift of my bounty. Go forth and spread my word, that all may know of my greatness and worship me as their Lord. And the houseflies did go forth, and spread the word of the Lord, and did build many temples in the lands of the faithful. And the Lord did bless the houseflies and their faith, and did protect them from all evil, and did provide for them in all things.